refuse to lose. I'm built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse. Mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running toes, they gon' take them. Refuse to lose, built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win. Yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse.
Welcome back to CTC. I'm your gracious host, Carl, and I'm back with another episode. I know it's been, 9 days? Yeah, it's been about 9 days since you seen me, but I told y'all I was going to be here this Sunday to review the ACC. It's review season. This is where if I had the team doing good and y'all sucked, hey, sorry, not sorry. If I had your team doing bad and y'all did good, get your jokes off, man. Hey, this is your time to fire back. This is your time for I told you so's. I'm not one of those guys who's going to double down or who's going to get sensitive. It is what it is, man. Come with the territory. And if I predicted your team correctly, how about a thank you? You know what I'm saying? Because everybody loves to shoot the messenger, but nobody likes to thank the messenger. So, with all seriousness, I got two guests with me today, two special guests. First guest I'm going to bring up. Part of Dave's Doghouse, part of the main show on the network. You've seen him here multiple times, repping the U. We got Dave. Dave, say what up to the people.
What's happening? What's up? Happy to be back on CTC to talk about the U and the ACC. Let's get it.
Yep. And my next guest, been on the show a ton, family to the show as well. As his cat almost made a cameo. You seen him here do more than just the ACC. He's always, he wasn't with me this year, but things happen. He's been with me with the top 10 teams in the group of 5. We've had a lot of similarities of opinions, most notably our opinions on Coach Coombs and JMU. We got my boy Ace. Say what up to the people, Ace.
Hey, man, I'm glad to be back. It's always a fun time on here. You know, I wish I could say defending national champion, but, we close.
It's all right. We got it this year. It's all good.
I know you wanted that.
I'm happy about this year, but we can talk about that later.
No, we're not talking about that at all because we have a preview coming up and we're not going to ruin that preview by talking about it today. But I will say what y'all thinking, I might be thinking as well with y'all. That's what I will say. But that's all you get from me. And also I will say, I know it sucks to lose an Natty, but who you lost it to, I think is no better guy you would want to lose it to. But I know it still sucks.
It hurts every day.
And there goes the cameo.
I'm sorry. Keep going.
No, you good. You good. So just like I said earlier, we will be reviewing our ACC preview that we did in the off season. A little tidbit. I'll wait for Ace to get back because I broke this tidbit on R2L. Ace didn't hear it, so I'll let Ace hear it. I will play spoiler alert early, okay? Like I said, I told this to Dave on R2L Show. I had a Georgia Tech shirt on, right? Remember? During the ACC preview. That is literally the only team in the ACC where I got their record correct. They went 9-3, 6-2. I had them going 9-3, 6-2.
Crazy.
That's crazy. He was foreshadowing, man.
Hey, shout out Georgia Tech, man. Shout out Georgia Tech. But if you're new here, please like, comment, share, subscribe. Even if you're not new here, please like, comment, share, subscribe. It helps the channel. It helps the network. Without further ado, we're going to get into our first team, and that is Boston College. Now, Boston College, second year under Bill O'Brien, made a bowl game his first year. did not make a bowl game last season. I think they had a lot of problems at quarterback. Just consistent play at quarterback. I feel like defensively they weren't bad, weren't good. I think they. I don't want to say solid though either. I'll say below average. But offensively at quarterback just seemed like an issue. Not good of a season for Boston College at all. Um, I had them going 4-8, 2-6. They actually did worse than what I thought they would do. They went 2-10, 1-7, winning. Their only ACC win was Syracuse, and Syracuse also, which we'll talk about later, had a terrible season. But I feel like that all went downhill when they lost their starting quarterback due to injury for the rest of the year. But yeah, this is just a downright terrible season for Boston College. Bill O'Brien has to bounce back next year. But for their schedule, I predicted them to beat Fordham, which they did win. I predicted them to lose to Michigan State, which they did lose in double overtime, which in hindsight, terrible that Michigan State won the double overtime with Boston College at home nonetheless. Had them beating Stanford, which they lost. Had them beating Cal. Did not know about JKS. Shout out to him. They lost. But that was actually a really good game. 2 fourth-quarter interceptions derailed Boston College of that one. Had them losing to Pitt, which they lost. Had them losing to Clemson, which they lost. Had them beating UConn, which they lost. I had them losing to Louisville. They lost. I had them losing to Notre Dame. They lost. I had them losing to SMU, which they lost. I had them losing to Georgia Tech, which they lost. And I had them losing to Syracuse, which, like I said earlier, was their only ACC win. I predicted 8 games right, 4 games wrong, but I did correctly predict the under 5.5 win total for Boston College. Ace, talk about Boston College and what you predicted.
Well, what I predicted out of Boston College, I predicted them to go 5-7, 3-5 in ACC play. I thought that Bill O'Brien would, bring a little bit of juice to him. Maybe not, the top of the conference type of performance, but I definitely didn't expect them to be 2-10, winning only their first and their last game. And well, at least when they won by double digits. I mean, I guess you can give them that, but anything beyond that, it was a pretty underwhelming season for them. I mean, they kind of took Georgia Tech to the wire. I know that was a close game.
Yeah.
But I think you mentioned another overtime game. I'm not sure which one you
Michigan
were
State.
to.
Michigan State, double OT.
Yeah, but that wasn't like Michigan State was a great team either this year.
Chill out, bro. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Well, why he got the Michigan State shirt on?
He's not wrong, by the way.
This is the thing. Michigan State, you can at least say they got a little bit better as the season went on. It seems like Boston College, they just kind of regressed. And I mean, their quarterback, his name is Casey right now.
Longering? Dylan Longering?
Longering. He came out pretty strong. I know he had a first good performance in that first game. Granted, not great competition, but him getting hurt, I'm sure derailed a lot of his development over the season and whatnot. But yeah, definitely not something that they should be proud of, I would say.
Yeah, so you said you had him going 5-7, 3-5.
Yeah.
So you correctly had the under 5.5 as well. What games did you have them winning?
To be honest, I don't have the exact breakdown. I have my.
All right, that's fine.
Which college stuff?
That's fine. Dave, Boston College. What did you predict?
I predicted that they would go 4-8, 2-6 in the ACC.
Just like me.
The games I had them winning were Fordham, which they won, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I had them beating Michigan State, beating Stanford, and beating UConn. Those were all the games I had them winning. I did not have them beating Syracuse, even though they won that game. I knew they was going to lose against that 4-game stretch with Louisville, Notre Dame, SMU, Georgia Tech. I knew they had no chance to win those games. Even though
hold on, Dave. You said you had them beating Fordham, Michigan State, Stanford, and UConn.
Yeah.
So you had them going 4-8, 1-7 in ACC play. Because those 3 of those games are non-conference. Michigan State, Fordham, and UConn are all non-conference.
Oh, my bad. I'm looking at it wrong. My bad. I had them losing to UConn and beating Cal. My bad.
There we go. All right, cool. Shout out to you.
So yeah, that's what I thought what was going to happen, and I mean they went 2-10.
Yeah,
I
dude.
I ain't really got too much to say about BC. I mean,
I was about to
'cause-
say it's not really too much to speak on when it comes to the Boston College season. It was downright terrible. I mean, they lost Thomas Castellanos, who went to Florida State, which we'll talk about later too. But quarterback, like I said, they lose Castellanos. Quarterback play was very inconsistent. Now Logren, like Ace said, came out strong. He came out strong against MSU too. I mean, again, in hindsight, that's very bad for MSU. But again, he had the 2 picks against Cal. I think that was him that had the 2 picks against Cal that game. Quarterback play was just inconsistent, and with Bill O'Brien, I believe, if I remember correctly, Bill O'Brien's offensive coach, it's not going to work. So definitely got to figure that quarterback position out. But we'll move forward to Cal University, which again, shout out JKS because freshman quarterback was not on my radar. Wasn't on a lot of people's radar. I think Cal kind of even said he was like the secret weapon. Because a lot of people had, I believe, Devin Brown from Ohio State coming out as the starter for Cal. So when
yeah,
JKS
I,
came out,
I had that on my thing too. I had him
yeah,
coming out as a starter.
yeah. So when JKS came out and he actually balled this year, that was a big shot in the arm for Cal. Shout out my boy Hezekiah Massis, came in, stepped up, in replacement of Noah Williams, who they lost to the Chiefs. He had 5-6 picks this year. Had some troubles at times locating the football. Would get a little handsy, get some penalties, but I think he had overall a good year. Shout out Cade Olave, which Ace. I talked to Ace because Cade Olave now transferred to BYU. He's now at the ACC, but he had a really good year at linebacker. I think Cal was a really good team. I do think Cal dropped some games. A notable game to me is the Virginia Tech game. Now, albeit it was a night game, weekday in Virginia in Blacksburg, that's a tough game to go and win. I do feel like Virginia Tech just kept running the same quarterback option with Kyron Drones, and they just had no answer for it that game. And that's a game I feel like they could have won. They dropped the Stanford game, another tough game, rivalry game. I feel like that was a game they could have won. And the San Diego State game was just horrendous. Shut out 34 donut by San Diego State. Terrible game. But for Cal, I had Cal going 6-6, 3-5, predicting the over 5.5 wins. They actually went 7-5, 4-4, so one game more. So I feel like that's a solid prediction. I had them beating Oregon State, which I believe Oregon State started off like 0-8 or something like that, something crazy. But Oregon State also had a chance to beat Houston, and they blew that one. But I had them beating Oregon State, which they won, beating Texas Southern, which they won. I had them losing to Minnesota. That was a good game. They won it. I had them beating San Diego State again. Shout out 34 Donut. I had them losing to Boston College, which they won. Had them losing to Duke, they lost. Had them beating North Carolina, they won. Losing Virginia Tech, they lost. Beating Virginia, they lost. Losing to Louisville, they actually won that game. Beating Stanford, they lost. And I had them losing to SMU, which late game heroics in that one. They almost dropped that game, but ended up winning it. I believe Kendrick Raphael scored on that touchdown off the left edge to win it. So again, they went 7-5, 4-4, 5 games right, 7 wrong. But again, the over 5.5 was predicted correctly. And then they did make a bowl game, and they blew the bowl game. They had a big lead against Hawaii, the battle of the 2 Hawaiian quarterbacks. But Micah Alahado, second half heroics. Hawaii won 35-31. They lost, to Hawaii in the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl. Dave, talk to me about Cal.
Cal, man. I mean, I remember when we talked about Cal. I was talking about the 2 new coordinators that they had. Were Justin Wilcox and Brian Harrison. Also Harrison. I think I'm saying that right. I talked about they lost 18 players to the transfer portal that year. I had them going 5-7. I was not expecting them to be in the bowl game that year. I had them beating Oregon State, Texas Southern, San Diego State, Virginia Tech, and Stanford. I had them going 2-6 ACC play. So, I think our records were pretty close as far as the wins. Carl, me and you.
We were game off. Yeah, I had them going 6-6. You had them going 5-7, and then 3-5. You had them 2-6.
So I mean, like you said, I thought Devin Brown, since he came from Ohio State, I thought he was going to take over the job as a quarterback. But clearly that didn't happen. And hey, shout out to Cal. They had a good year that I wasn't expected to be. I didn't expect it to be horrible, but I didn't expect it to have to be in the bowl game.
Yeah, and shout out JKS, man, because right decision, because the boy can ball. The boy nice.
Right.
Boy pimping went accurate. Shout out him. Go ahead, Ace.
Yeah, so I had Cal going 4-8, 2-6 in ACC play last year. Clearly they went a little bit over that, going 7-5, which I'm not totally surprised by. I did hear a couple of rumblings about JKS in the offseason going into the season, and I kind of just equated it to like the same kind of hype that Nico got coming into Tennessee, just because they just I don't know why I kind of equated them the same because I think they both had those lanky bodies and stuff, just a tall kind of quarterback. But JKS could definitely stick it. You could probably argue that their passing game was a little bit sharper than what it was with Mendoza, to be honest. And I think a part of what kind of hurt Cal last year, which they didn't really have a lot of production out of running backs, or even if they had the talent, because I don't think they had a Jaden Ott on their
Kendrick
squad.
Raphael was nice.
But Jaden Ott didn't even really play either. So let's
Yeah.
not overdo him either. So
Oklahoma.
yeah, I think they're heading in the right direction. I remember last year I was talking about how Ron Rivera is leading their football operations and stuff like that. I still think highly of that pickup for their organization. I think that it's going to take the program to the next step. So I think this was a good season for them. Definitely a good stepping stone. I would imagine people would think that JKS is for sure the second or third best quarterback in the ACC next year. 100%.
Oh, nah, I don't think so. I third
Second
maybe.
or third?
Because everybody going, and I love Darian Minson, so don't take this wrong, but a lot of people going to have Darian Minson probably first. Next might be Kevin Jennings. People might have
Kevin
Jennings.
Kevin Jennings. I mean, but that's it. It'd be Kevin Jennings or him or
that's why I said third maybe. And I'm not mad at it. JKS like that. I will say though,
and then CJ Bailey will be in that conversation.
CJ Bailey definitely in that convo for sure.
Yeah.
NC State. Chandler Morris is finally out the convo. He tried to come back and get another year.
No thanks. Get a job.
No, he's not in the convo.
We had a tight end on our team who we should have been saying that to. But.
Bro from Oregon. I can't remember his name. But he was there long due to a bunch of injuries. Chandler Morris, I don't remember him having too many injuries. Yeah, I don't remember Chandler Morris having too many injuries. I just remember he was at TCU.
He transferred one.
Yeah, no, he transferred twice.
Yeah,
because I'm about to say he was at TCU, and they pulled him for Max Duggan, and then he went from TCU to North Texas. He actually balled at North Texas, and then he went to Virginia.
He was in North Texas.
Yeah, so... And I will say also this, bro. It was very unfortunate that Cal fired Justin Wilcox, but it could be a blessing in disguise. I actually like Justin Wilcox at
I did
Cal,
too.
but
I didn't think that was a great move on them. I thought he was a pretty good coach.
Yeah, I thought he was definitely solid for the boys. But I mean, hey, I think it might work out for him. So who knows? But that's enough about Cal. Shout out to them. Had a good season. Oh, I did want to shout out one more person before we move from Cal, actually. Shout out the receiving corps, Tron Grizel and Jacob DeJesus, being very versatile. Definitely want to shout out them. But we can move on to Clemson, who, in my opinion, I'm pretty sure 95% of college football opinion, had a severely underperforming and underwhelming season.
Tell me about it.
Man, I predicted Clemson to go to the national championship. And as much as it pained me to say it, I'm thinking, all right, cool. They got basically their whole roster coming back. They were 9-3. Oh, excuse me, I have the record right here. They went 10-4 because they made the playoffs. They won the ACC championship. 7-1 in the ACC. They lost to Texas. I mean, Texas was really good that year in the playoffs. Cade Klubnik, I actually gave him credit before the start of the season, which that definitely hurt.
We all did.
Yeah, we all gave him credit. And Ace knows them.
36-6. That's a good
number. Ace know, bro. I'll be like, man, he had a good season, but I just don't trust, bro. But I gave him his credit, and rightfully so for the year he had. And then everything regressed. And it's not just Cade Klubnik that regressed. The defense, TJ Parker, Peter Woods, everybody.
The entire team regressed.
It was
Nowhere
just
near as dominant up front as we thought they would.
no,
At
at
all.
all. Not at all. If you even remember my prediction, I had TJ Parker win the ACC Player of the Year, which
Mm-hmm.
obviously
Yeah.
somebody else won it, and we'll talk about that person winning it later. But yeah, it was bad, terrible season, and we actually even talked about how Dabo actually got in the transfer portal like that
Mm-hmm.
year, just previous to this year. So maybe he don't need to listen to y'all. Maybe he just need to stick to his guns and forget the transfer portal. Because
Facts.
this year they went 7-5 and 4-4. I had them going 11-1, 8-0, losing their only game was South Carolina, another regressive team. I got to talk about when we do the NCC team review. That was my only loss for Clemson with South Carolina, and obviously they lost 4 more games, 7-5, 4-4. The 5 losses they had was they lost to LSU, which that game was terrible. That should have been the start of it. But I mean, I ain't gonna lie. When I saw the game, I'm like, oh, okay, this is just a battle of 2 good defenses. No,
Yeah,
the
that's what
battle.
everybody thought. That was a battle of frauds.
Yeah,
Two
Facts.
fraudulent teams.
correct, very correct. They lost to Georgia Tech, which I'm thinking, all right, cool. It's not a bad loss. Georgia Tech gave them problems, I believe, the year previous, if I'm not mistaken. They lost to Syracuse, which is the biggest surprise of the season. They lost to SMU, and then they lost to Duke. They did finish the season on a 4-game win streak, but let's be real. The 4 games were Florida State. They were very underwhelming. Louisville, which that's a good win. I'll give
They
them that.
squeaked
But
that out too.
yeah, Furman.
Played them
Furman.
late in
Wow.
the year. So, yeah,
But
you
I
still-
will say both South Carolina schools do that. South Carolina always has like Citadel or something towards the end of the year before we play Clemson. So can't really get on them for that. And then South Carolina, which very underwhelming year for South Carolina. So very fraudulent 4-game win streak, because then they get to the Pinstripe Bowl against Penn State, who was also another team who severely underperformed. And fun fact, the Pinstripe Bowl was my national championship game. I had Penn State and Clemson in the national championship, and they played each other in the Pinstripe Bowl.
That was like, oh, you got to play.
You was right.
I mean, yeah, technically I was right. They played each other in the offseason. I mean, the postseason, just not the right game.
Technically.
And they lost to Penn State 22-10, could not generate any offense. Penn State really couldn't generate any offense either, but Penn State generated offense when they needed to. Obviously, I got the over 9.5 completely wrong. 6 games right, 6 games wrong. I already announced them. Ace, talk to me about Clemson.
Yeah, I completely overestimated this team. I thought they would have elite quarterback play, deep defensive line play, like a top end ceiling, and it all just fell down. I don't know what it was, man. It's like you looked at that Clemson team on paper and you see the recruits that they have, and you say, all right, they have one of the best quarterbacks from a class 3 or 4 years ago who should be, making his claim to be a top pick in the draft. You have multiple potential first round picks on the D line. You got a first round corner in Avion Terrell. Then you have these talented wide receivers. It's like, what happened, man? It's like I don't know if Dabo is losing the juice. I don't know if it's a coordinating issue. I don't know if it's the kids these days that he not connected with them or whatever the case is. But
I got one for you, Ace. Is he better at being the hunter and not the hunted?
I don't know, because I feel like they were hunted for many years. It's not like Clemson came on the scene and then 1 year later, everybody was just like, all right,
That's true. But last year, I feel like they weren't really the hunters. I mean, the hunted, they were more so hunting. And then they had a really good year.
Yes,
I feel you though, because the Deshaun Watson.
I think this is the thing that happened. They stopped getting the elite players. They would have an elite running back. I think that's really what the main issue is. They don't be having that bell cow that they can give it to. You had your Phil Moffers, you had your I can't remember white boy name. Will Shipley, even people before him. You know what I mean? You had people that you could rotate in and out, get you those tough yardage, and I just don't think they have that right now. And even Phil Moffer's not going to do nothing in the league, or didn't do anything last year in the league. So I don't know. I think they can still get those kids on the D line and things like that. I think they'll still always have a respectable and tough defense. But I don't know if I don't know if their offensive either philosophy or the recruiting, whichever it is, it isn't matching up with the past performances.
Yeah,
Maybe it's
yeah.
just at the same caliber of player anymore. Maybe they need to pay people. You know,
I don't know because you can't say, well, he didn't get the quarterbacks of the past because Cade Klubnik was touted to be as
Hallie.
I don't want to say as good as Trevor Lawrence in him, but he
I
was a
mean, he
top guy in his
was.
class.
Yeah, he was.
And,
They talked very highly of him.
yeah, even
All these things
DJ.
about DJU, they was
Yeah,
like, all right, we might have missed on that one, but we know this kid is gonna be one of ones, and
but even DJ
not to say he wasn't
Unglelet.
good.
But
Yeah.
even DJ, he came in very highly touted. Then the Notre Dame game happened, and remember when NIL first popped off, he was the first one with a commercial. He had, I think,
Hmm.
the Dr. Pepper
Yeah.
commercial or something like that.
Yeah.
So he was very highly touted. He dropped off. Cade Klubnik, he proved he had a great junior campaign. Senior campaign was very meh, but so was everybody else. So you can't
Right.
say it's because of the quarterback because since 2019 when Lawrence left, I think that was the start. DJ was the next guy, and
Yeah, he
then
was.
after that was Cade Klubnik. Now I don't know about future classes, but it's like you said, it's a kind of a mystery of why Clemson fell off the way they did this past season.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we could also go back before, like, all right, looking at their last couple of years now. I mean, even 2023, they went 9-4, which wouldn't have been like the best Clemson year, 4-4 in the conference. That's basically but that was the DJU year. I think it was like his first year or second year,
I think that was his
something like
last year.
that.
That was because that's when they lost to Iowa State in the bowl game, right? I want to say was it the Orange Bowl or something like
The
that? I want
Gator
to say they
Bowl.
lost.
No, that was the year
No,
before. It was the Orange Bowl.
I know one bowl game they lost to Tennessee. It was bad. It was so bad. People thought Joe Milton was about to have Tennessee, including myself. Thought Tennessee was about to turn up.
I
And
see.
then I think the following year they lost to Iowa State.
I see a Kentucky and Clemson. Well, they beat Kentucky by 3, but that was who was the quarterback there? Oh no, Cade Klubnik was the quarterback then. Okay, so maybe
Or maybe
yeah, maybe the
2024.
Orange Bowl one was DJU. I think that was. I think you're right.
Yeah, I remember one joint Tennessee mopped them in the Orange Bowl, but I can't remember. I could have swore they played Iowa State in one bowl game. Cause I'm like, dog, this is like the battle of two coaches with the same philosophies. Like they want to play defense. I
No,
just can't remember.
you're right. This was the year that Joe Milton went crazy.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
went,
31-14.
bruh, he went dumb.
Yeah, but we also got to remember, like this is like a decade of Clemson being good and being at the top of the game. I mean,
Not facts.
so I mean, you can't last forever. But at a certain point, they do have to look in the mirror and say, what is it that isn't working for us? Because you're Clemson, you really have no excuse. You know what I mean? You know you have a great coach that people will want to play for. You know you have good recruiting. It's just what's going on inside that building that's making these people not performing 100%. It's got to be
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, I just think it's also probably the biggest disappointment to a season for Clemson that I can remember in a long time.
Sure, for sure. For sure, very long time because they were supposed to be. This was supposed to be the year like, all right, to get right. Let's
Yeah.
get it back on track. Let's be who we are, and who they are now is not the top of the ACC.
Nope. I get like, hey, get it in, get it in. You know, I don't like Clemson, so I'm all for it. Dave talked to me about Clemson.
Hey, Carl, we had the same exact record, same exact wins, and everything. I think I even talked about their new defensive coordinator, Tom Allen, coming in. I thought he was going to make a difference, and not to say that the defense was bad because it wasn't bad, but I mean, it wasn't Clemson football.
Yeah.
They just didn't play Clemson football at all. And they did get the transfer from Purdue, will help, but he didn't make a big difference for real. So I don't know. I mean, I'm glad that they weren't that good, but hey,
Warms my heart, but oh well.
Hey, look, exactly. Like for my prediction, obviously I'm a little sick, but like, am I rooting for Clemson? No, I like South Carolina. Why would I root for Clemson? So, but we'll move forward to the team who won the ACC championship, the Duke Blue Devils. Did I think I would be saying that? Absolutely not. I don't think anybody thought they'd be saying that. Not in football,
Nobody thought
basketball,
that.
absolutely. Football, no. Shout out Coach Manny Diaz, man, for getting the ACC championship. I don't want to call it disgusting because I feel like that's kind of putting smut on it, but a 7-5 ACC champ is kind of crazy. But Duke, funny enough, I had Duke being better than what they actually went. I had Duke being 8-4 and 5-3. Now they had a better ACC record than I thought they would have, but they did not have a better overall record than what I thought they would have. Duke finished 7-5, 6-2, but they did beat a very good. Excuse me, not very good. They did well. I'll say this. They beat a very good UVA team in the rematch because I forgot they lost the first game. They got beat badly in the first game. It was terrible to the point where I thought Virginia was just going to do the same thing in the ACC championship game. But they beat a very good UVA team in the rematch. They beat a solid Wake Forest team, and they beat them badly. I believe that's what got them in, if I'm remembering correctly. That Wake Forest win got them in. Because I think if they'd have lost.
SMU lost. The SMU lost the week before, and then they beat Wake Forest.
Nah, it was the same week. It was the same week. It was SMU lost to Cal the same week. I think it was a different day. I want to say Duke and Wake Forest played on like a Friday, and I want to say SMU Cal played on like a Saturday that week. But it was the same week. I can't remember who would prevent it to get in the ACC championship game. Was it y'all?
Yeah,
it might have been us. Yeah,
it might have been y'all.
Yeah, because we needed Duke to lose to get
we
in.
needed
SMU had lost.
We needed SMU and Duke to lose to get in.
Yeah.
Well, SMU won. SMU lost, but Duke won.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there was another factor in there somewhere. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, because I know
three things that needed to happen. And two of them happened, but the Duke was the one that didn't happen.
Hold on, I got the final standings right here. I know it was y'all in the mix. It was Georgia Tech in the mix, which I said they were fraudulent. No, I said Pitt was fraudulent. Pitt was
it was a 4-way tie between us, Georgia Tech, SMU, and Virginia.
Yeah, I think it literally prevented y'all from going.
And I think Pitt might be in it too.
Nah, because y'all beat Pitt. Remember, y'all played them head to head again.
Yeah.
Y'all beat the brakes off Pitt, which I told you y'all was going to do.
Yeah, we had to beat them worse than Notre Dame beat them.
Yeah, y'all beat the brakes off
just as bad.
But yeah, so Duke, I will say Duke had a really good offense. Like, as y'all know, because y'all have the quarterback and Cooper Bearcat, the receiver. So y'all know Manny Diaz. He put him on display, and y'all said, "Thank you, Manny. We'll bring him back to the U. We won't bring you back though." But anyway, great season offensively. I think they had a solid defense for them as well. Now they did lose to Tulane, which I had them winning them AAC, so that wasn't a bad loss though. They also lost to Illinois, which I predicted. They beat Elon, which I predicted. They beat NC State, which that was a good win in my opinion. Beat Syracuse, beat Cal. That was another good win in my opinion. Lost to Georgia Tech, beat Clemson, lost to UConn. Shout out UConn, man. Funny enough, UConn lost to Syracuse of all ACC schools. Lost to Virginia. They won the rivalry game with UNC and Wake Forest, so they basically were state champs. Oh no, can't even say they state champs. I forgot they lost. They were state champs. They beat NC State, UNC, and Wake Forest to win the state of North Carolina. So not only did Duke win the ACC title, they won the state of North Carolina. So shout out to Duke for that. Again, feels crazy to say in football. Very crazy to say in football, not basketball. But they won the ACC for the first time ever in school history. The ACC championship. I believe they made the ACC championship. I can't remember if they made it or not before. I want to say they made it in like 2013 or something like that. But no, not 2013, because I believe that was the year Florida State played Georgia Tech. Did they make it? I can't remember if they made one before, but I want to say they did make one prior. But nonetheless, they won the ACC championship. Did not make the playoffs, however, because again they went 7-5, so didn't have a good enough record to get the automatic qualifier winning a championship. But they did win the Sun Bowl 42-39 versus Arizona State. That was a very electric game. they went against Arizona State, not with Sam Levitt, but with Jeff Sims. And I believe Jeff Sims fashion had a turnover to lose it for Arizona State. But I predicted correctly the over 6.5, 7 games right, 5 games wrong. Talk to me about Duke, Dave.
Yeah, I had them going 9-3. I had them going 5-3 ACC play. I thought they would start the season off on a 4-game win streak against Elon, Illinois, Tulane, and NC State. Then it was kind of be like loss, win, loss, win, loss, win. That's kind of how it was going for them. I did like the fact that they retained both of their coordinators, so they retained some continuity on their team. That was one of the important things to me. That's why I kind of went with that record with them. And Manny, I always love Manny. Manny, which is my one of my favorite head coaches in with Miami, even though he didn't really win much. I always liked his moxie, his attitude, the way he carried himself, and the way the players loved him. So I was kind of sort of rooting for them a little bit, but I didn't need them to lose that last game, which they did not lose. But it's all good. I think I'm probably the only person on this panel that had them losing to UNC. So, and we'll talk about UNC later on down the line. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get laughed at with that one. For sure.
Hey, it's all good because you're going to laugh at us for Virginia. So it's a gift and a curse.
Sure.
And by the way, I was right. They did make the ACC championship game against Florida State in 2013.
Yeah, they made another one in 1962.
They had the ACC champion, like the actual championship game going on that long? Dang. Well, I'm probably wrong about their only ACC championship win then. But Ace, talk to me about Duke.
Yeah, so Duke, I can't say I expected much out of them even when they got Darian Minson. I thought that it would be a team where I thought, a Manny Diaz defense, maybe they may have some discipline issues, maybe they won't, and that'd be the difference between them being a good team and a bad team. I definitely thought their offense probably had, a lower ceiling than it actually had. And as it turned out in the ceiling, the offense just was cooking, they had it going on with Mensa, and it's a good thing to see. Like like Dave said, I got a soft spot tomorrow for Manny too, man. I like to see when Manny's doing good, and then I always want him to not get the short end of the stick. However, I had them going 6-6 and 4-4. Obviously, I was off on that, but after that Tulane game and the way they lost that Tulane game, I kind of checked out of their season because Tulane was pretty much in control of a lot of that game, particularly in the second half. And then they kind of came back to make it respectable. But at that point, I was like, okay, I kind of think I see what kind of team this is. And then from there, they kind of had a nice little win streak, then lost to Georgia Tech, beat Clemson by 1. But again, we just talked about Clemson. Clemson was the same Clemson team, even though it is still impressive that they were able to walk into Death Valley and do that.
Mm-hmm.
2 more losses. A loss to Connecticut at Connecticut is nasty. I don't care what you say. I don't care what Skylar Bell did. It's nasty.
Shout out Skylar Bell. You got to shout out Joe Fagano too, though.
Oh yeah. Shout out to QB. But the loss to Virginia was very, very nasty, and I thought that was definitely going to be the end of the season. So the way that they got into the ACC championship is in itself crazy, and the ACC they need to do something to change like the way these tiebreakers work.
Oh, brother,
they do, bro. They do. There's no reason that I understand that everybody can't play everybody, sure, but if you have a team that's ranked higher, it's like how you not going to take the
that team should have handled business.
I'm not saying they shouldn't. I'm just saying though, like if you're going to, in order to, because this is the type of stuff that trickles down into the playoff conversations. Now we're going to have 24 teams. You know what I mean? Like it's just, I think if you can't get it right on the conference level, you're not going to get it right when they get to the macro. You know what I mean? But otherwise, yeah, I thought Duke was going to be a team fighting for bowl eligibility. And turns out they did. They helped us out better than anybody else this season besides ourselves. So shout out to them.
All right. So this is my thing, right? Because not for nothing, y'all both went 6-2 in conference play. Y'all were ranked higher because y'all handled y'all business outside of conference, but in conference, Carson Beck threw away the SMU game at the goal line and threw 4 picks against Louisville.
We'll get to those. We'll get to those.
So
We're
like
going to
I
go in
feel
detail.
you, but no, I mean I feel you, but like if I'm an ACC commissioner, I'm like, bro, what am I supposed to do with that? So I feel you. I just feel like one, this is very new to the ACC because there used to be divisions, Coastal and Atlantic. That kind of changed what
But
3
I
years
think
ago.
that's what the issue
Yeah.
is. Yeah, I think that's where, because when it was divisions, that wouldn't have been such a thing,
Then
because
everybody
in
could
the
play
divisions
everybody.
everybody would, exactly. It's just like
But
I'm not saying that Miami should have an excuse for what they did, because they absolutely shouldn't. We should,
Mhm.
if we didn't bounce back, we shouldn't have been in the playoff, or even considered for it. However, it's just like, I don't know. I think when with college it gets so murky, and where it doesn't with the pros, is because we have all these eye tests and all these teams, and how we feel the team should be or where they should be, and then that determines where we rank them, and how we perceive them, and then that just makes everything so convoluted, because it's not a like a set criteria for real.
yeah, I mean, plus, well, if you're talking about on the playoff level, it's way less teams, so it's way less variables as opposed to like conference. You got to think we got mega conferences now. We got 17 teams in the ACC. So like, even if you break
Yeah.
down into conference or divisions, one to be uneven, you might have to go
Hmm.
3 divisions, which that's stupid because then how you going to go from 2 games out of 3 divisions? I mean, 2 teams out of three
Yeah.
divisions, and even if you do 2 divisions with one having one extra team, you can't have a non-conference game because if you everybody got played by it, that's what 8 games right there. Then what you get one out of division game against another ACC school that's not your division, and then 3 conference games. It's like it's just ACC does 8 games, so you would that means you have 4 non-conference, so you don't even get the one game outside of your division in the ACC. So it's just tough. That's why I say you just gotta handle business right now. Cause I was disappointed
No
for you. I
doubt.
wanted y'all to go to the ACC championship game because I felt like y'all was the best team in the ACC. It's just very unfortunate.
That's the way it go, man. Sometimes stuff is rarely clean in sports, I guess.
Yeah, just unfortunate. But please, if you're listening, and ACC and Big 12, shut up. We're not doing a 24 game playoff, dog.
No, we're
I
not.
know why the
Yeah,
ACC wants
24
to
is
do it.
crazy.
I actually know why both teams want to do it. ACC want to do it because our champion didn't get in, but Miami got in, and they didn't even make the championship game. We should have had 2 in. And Big 12 was like, well, BYU, they played an extra game, and they didn't make it because they got spanked in that extra game, even though Bama got spanked in their extra game, and they still made it. So I get the grievances from both conferences. But no, 12 is fine.
And ACC's grievance is bull, because just fix your own system and you won't even have to do all this dumb stuff. Or or
Yes,
or like
bring the
they
divisions back.
it's
Or
very
just
like
handle
Change out
business.
something.
no, yeah, definitely handle business, but it's one of those things. It's like they're only arguing it just because that's just how it ended up being. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, they would have never argued for a 7-win team to be in the college football playoff
Heck
if they
no.
No.
didn't have this funky system that ended up with them in it. It's like, I mean, hey, whatever make money, and that's all they care about, and that's why these schedules be so weird and clunky throughout the season, and got teams traveling to Stanford for whatever reason,
Right.
and coming back to play a Thursday night game 5 days later. It's crazy, man. They really got to reel it in with this stuff.
Yeah, I agree. But let's not stray away. Let's move forward to Florida State, which I know y'all will be very happy to talk about, being the rivals of Florida State. Um, y'all can low-key kill me for this. Florida State. We all laughed at Florida State. We all laughed at Thomas Castellanos. Ha ha, you gonna get smoked by Bama. They actually beat Bama. Handedly, I should say.
Smoked them.
Yeah. Bama scored on their first drive, and I don't think they scored again until like the third or fourth quarter. It was bad. Florida State, and that to me was like kind of justified. Like, okay, this shows why I was kind of high on Florida State. The rest of the season, however, the ACC that
Virginia
Thomas
game.
Castellanos loved to say that he ran through the ACC. You went 2-6 at Florida State in the ACC, my boy. 5-7, 2-6 year for Florida State. I had won 8-4, 6-2. So again, if y'all want to kill me, go ahead and do so. I had them losing to Bama, they won. I had them beating East Texas A&M, they won. Had them beating Kent State, they won. Now, the fun part for y'all. I had them beating Virginia. They lost. I had them losing to Miami. They lost. I had them beating Pitt. They lost. I had them beating Stanford. They lost. I had them beating Wake Forest, which they actually won. I had them losing to Clemson. They lost. I had them. Dog, what is going on? I don't even know what I did here. I had them. I think I had them beating Virginia Tech, and they won. I had them beating NC State. They lost, and I had them losing to Florida, which they lost again. Terrible year. Did not make a bowl game. I'm blanking on a coach name from Memphis. Is it Norvell? Is it Mike Norvell?
Yeah, Mike Norvell.
Mike Norvell is now on the hottest of hot seats at Florida State after last year. Y'all could pick. This is y'all time to go off, so y'all pick who y'all want first to talk about the horrible season that Florida State had.
Ace, I'll be honest.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for that, sir. Well, first of all, let me say how wrong I was about Florida State, because I actually thought they would be decent. I thought they would have a bounce back year. I really thought that their secondary would improve dramatically. I thought Thomas Castellanos would do well in the Gus Malzahn offense. I really thought that they had, I thought Deuce Robinson would go crazy for the year. They had players, they have talent. They had what I thought were decent coordinators and coaches. I mean, Mike Norvell, that's, debatable for sure, especially these years. And also, shout out to them for extending him a couple years ago, because he's definitely going to be here for at least another 2 years, because that buyout
boy
is ridiculous still right now. So shout out to them.
They got the money. That boy will be a buyout boy. He start off anything bad this season.
Hey, you I don't know, man. They might gotta. I think they might gotta deal with it for at least one more.
This should have been a
buyout's got to be ridiculous. His buyout got to be crazy.
I'll Google that for you, but go ahead.
Yeah, please do, because I want to know how much it is. So, they beat Bama. Beat Bama pretty good too, which was very surprising. I'm just like, all right, maybe we'll have a decent game this year, right? Then they whoop. How much is it?
$53.3 million.
Yeah, he's there for another year or two.
Told you.
There's no way, bro. There's no way
they're not firing.
That's who they gonna get after that. You have to get.
He's gonna coach that contract out.
Hey, Lane Kiffin might leave. If you know, you know.
No, he's not.
You gonna complain about the Tiger at LSU?
They're gonna turn out to be racist down there too, man.
Hey, Ace. Dead serious. The Tiger name behind LSU has racist roots.
Nah,
I just found that out like a week ago.
Seriously?
I'm so serious.
We can talk about it after, because I do want to know that. But so I think the highlight of the season for me with Florida State was definitely the Virginia game, because I remember I was watching that game. I was like, dog. I was like, yo. For some reason, Virginia would not just go away. And you can kind of tell that Florida State walked in there and they thought that they just had to jump just because they were there. It was just a certain lackadaisicalness to them. And I think Virginia just jumped down and got ahead of them earlier in the game. And then Florida State ended up fighting their way back over the second half. Because I feel like I distinctly remember them being down big at the half.
Yeah, Florida State, I think, scored first, but then they started fumbling, and I think they threw a pick.
Yes, that's what it was.
Virginia scored. Yeah.
It was all those turnovers, yes. And then I want to say it went to overtime, two overtimes.
It went to overtime, and Deuce Robinson dropped that touchdown at OT.
Yeah, man. Overall, I'm gonna just say I'm happy that they suck, and I hope they continue to suck. And hopefully, we can bust them even worse this year, because I think we played them at home this year. So, this upcoming year. Also, that was a Mally. That was another Mally coming out party that game. Mally went crazy. Them 2 long touchdowns. Oh, they called one of them back. He had another one. CJ Daniels scored twice. Oh man, Florida who? Florida State who?
Yeah, y'all play Florida State near your birthday. Y'all played them on the 17th of October.
No, sweet, even better. Nice little gift.
Yeah. Real quick before you go, Dave, I forgot to say that I incorrectly took the over 7.5 win total for Florida State. Finished at 5-7. Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, I had them going 7-5. I had them being a little decent, at least making the bowl game. So glad that didn't happen. And I know we're talking about Miami, but shout out to Duke because they basically did what we do almost every single year now and win our state. Because we just beat Florida State. I mean, we just beat them, and we beat USF as well. So we own Florida. Florida belongs to the line, belongs to the U.
Back-to-back years.
I remember when we talked about FSU, we talked about what Tommy Castellano said about Bama, and he was basically he was talking smack. He backed it up too. Backed it up in that game, and then Virginia game, and then Miami came, and I was like, I was so happy to see that happen against us. It was one of the best games that I watched all year long, just to see how they thought that they were so good. They were down 21-0 early in the game or something.
Yeah, I jumped up crazy.
Yeah.
Just it was.
I was sick though because I wanted it to be a top 10 matchup, so I was sick that they lost. But whatever.
Hey, I don't care if they lost or not. I'm just glad that we beat the brakes off of them for real because I mean they did come back a little bit, but we beat the brakes off of them for real.
They scored 19. They scored 19 points in the fourth quarter. Sure.
Yeah, we let our foot off the gas. That's what happened.
Yeah. Well, they also kicked the field goal with 20 seconds left in the game.
I was about to say, didn't they like mismanage the end of it too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Like it was. They didn't get to 19 points until like it was within or about to be 2 minutes left in the game.
Yeah. The game was never a question.
Yeah.
They were never like, Florida State might pull this off.
Yeah, no, it was 28-3 for majority in the game.
Yeah, I had them losing to Bama. They won. I had them beating East Texas, Kent State, Virginia, Pitt, Stanford, Wake Forest, and Virginia Tech. I am so glad that I was wrong and that they lost most of those games.
Yeah.
Florida State is just trash, man. They're just trash. They don't belong in Florida. Send them to another state. They don't belong in Florida anymore because it belongs to us. So, shout out to Gus Miles to Gus Malzahn as well. You know, Mr. The offensive intricate guy who comes up with these amazing motion plays for them that did absolutely nothing against us. So, I'm glad that those guys didn't he fire his no, that was Florida that fired his coordinators, right? To stay there.
Gus Malzahn's no longer at Florida State either, though.
Yeah, he gone. Yeah,
okay.
I think he took a job. I don't think he got fired.
He's nowhere right now. I don't know if he got fired, but he's nowhere right now.
Down. Yeah.
He may have had just like a 1 year.
He might have got fired though.
I don't know.
I don't know. Really hitting on nothing.
But Mike Norvell, thank you, man. Thank you for accepting that contract. Thank you, Florida athletic director, for giving him the contract. I appreciate you.
Thank you for not winning a road game in the last 2 years.
That too. Give him another contract. Keep him there for another 5 years, please. It would be the best thing that you've done in your history.
They saying here Jordan Travis Merchant.
It's kind of hard to beat those allegations right now.
It is very hard to beat those.
I think so, because I mean they were undefeated with him. So
I mean, they've only beaten 3. Hold on, they've only beaten. Hold on, my bad. 1, 2. Yeah, they've only beaten 4 Power 5 schools in the last 2 years.
Funny enough, Bama being one of them.
Bama being the best for sure, but Bama, Kent State.
I want to say something. That game,
Virginia Tech.
That game let me know when they beat Bama that if we were to match up against Bama or Georgia, we had a really great chance of being able to beat them.
Yeah, for sure. I wanted Bama. When it was doing the job, I wanted them to put us against Bama.
I did because I remember last year they was trying to get Bama to get in the playoffs over us, even though they
that's true.
lost the game, and I was so pissed off. I was like, "There's no way Bama should make the playoffs. And they didn't.
Just lost too. Lost bad. Got dogged by
Exactly.
Georgia.
They got the brakes beat off of them, and they was talk about putting them in over us. I said that's ridiculous. So
funny enough, both y'all made it.
Yeah, right.
Both y'all made it. But I ain't gonna lie, I was a Bama should have got in until the SEC championship game. I'm like, bro, they didn't even like compete. The game was over.
Yeah, it was nasty. It was nasty.
Yeah, that game was nasty. But everybody got their Florida State slander off. Again, these are Miami fans, so they don't come at me. These are Miami fans. I ain't got nothing to do with the Florida State slander. Other than y'all messed up my prediction by a pretty good margin.
Hey, we will slander them for as long as we're alive.
Stand it up, baby.
So, with that being said, we're going to move on to a team that I support fully, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Now, again, if you missed the beginning of the show, ACC preview, I had a Georgia Tech shirt on. I left my shirt at home. That's the only reason why I don't have it on right now. But I actually predicted their season correctly. I had them going 9-3, 6-2. They went 9-3, 6-2. Now I didn't perfectly predict the season because I didn't get every win and loss right. But I only got 2 games wrong. I got 10 games right. The 2 games I got wrong was I had them losing to Clemson, which they won, and I had them beating Pitt, in which they lost. And that Pitt game was very winnable. But no, you want to throw pick 6 in the red zone, huh?
Haynes King.
Yeah, man. Haynes King, man. I love Haynes King as a collegiate quarterback. But, man, that game pissed me off. They went down 21, fought all the way back, was actually had a chance to tie it, and he threw a pick 6. I was sick. But because of that, I got my record predicted correctly. So, gift and the curse. I correctly predicted the over 7.5. I remember saying that the 7.5 win total was kind of disrespectful for Georgia Tech. But they had a great season, man. They had a great season. Haynes King had a healthy season. I will say this, though. The thing that kind of confused me about Georgia Tech was they wasn't letting Haynes King really push the ball down the field as much as I've seen in the 3 years at Georgia Tech. And I was kind of confused by that. You had Eric Rivers, who was a great transfer receiver from FIU. Didn't even really use Dean Patterson, the other transfer receiver from FIU. I was kind of confused about that. But, yeah, offensively, it just seemed like they were very run-heavy, which I'm not surprised with Haynes King and Justice Haynes. But not Justice Haynes. That's the guy from Michigan that transferred out of Michigan. What's his brother's name? Jamal Haynes. There we go. Jamal Haynes. But overall, a really good season for Georgia Tech. And Coach Key has been having Georgia Tech trend up very well. And they were very competitive against Georgia. And the sky is kind of looking like the limit for Georgia Tech in the future, but we're going to keep it on this year. H went first. Dave, talk to me about Georgia Tech. Oh, by the way, my fault. They did lose the Pop-Tart Bowl. I forgot to mention the bowl game. They lost the Pop-Tart Bowl to BYU, a game they should have won probably, 25-21. All right, go ahead.
All I want to say is Georgia Tech disgusts me. I am glad that they lost that Pop-Tart Bowl. I wish we were able to play them last year so we could have gotten our revenge. But that is not on them. That is on Mario Cristobal for 2 boneheaded mistakes in back-to-back seasons. So that is one of the reasons why they have a stain on my heart when it comes to Georgia Tech. And I have a strong disdain for anything that involves Georgia Tech. I don't care if it's basketball, softball, baseball.
Dang, they suck at basketball. Why you gotta hate them in basketball?
I don't care. I don't like Georgia Tech at all. I want them to lose every game for every collegiate game that I don't care if they had a tennis team or a golf team. I want them to lose every single thing in Georgia Tech. Haynes King, I wish you were still there so we could play you again. But, I mean, hey, shout out to you. I had them going 6-6, though. So I wrongfully predicted their record. And I had them, the only games I had them winning were against Gardner-Webb, Temple, Wake Forest, Virginia Tech, NC State, and BC. I had them losing to everyone else. I don't know why I had them losing to Colorado, but I did. Clemson, of course, Duke, Syracuse, Pitt, and Georgia. So again, I wish we were able to play them, and I wish we were able to dominate them because we need that win. That is the one team in the ACC I think we need to get our revenge with because we just couldn't get it together against them. I don't know what's up with Mario Cristobal when it comes to Georgia Tech, but he just makes stupid decisions. First was running the ball instead of just kneeling when you could have won the game. My goodness.
That was crazy.
Don't worry, bro. That was Mario players, bro. That was Mario players. Don't worry.
But I mean, what do you mean that's Mario? That's Mario players now. But
No,
like,
I'm getting PTSD from just
now.
thinking.
I mean, yeah, I can't even be mad at you for not disliking Georgia Tech. You gotta get that head out your heart. That's not Georgia Tech fault. That is literally y'all fault. But if you mad at Mario for that for a long time, I'm not mad.
But
like,
shout out to
literally
Georgia Tech.
literally just take a knee, and then you don't fumble. They don't get a deep touchdown pass with 13 seconds left. Like, dog.
And I think what's crazy is that wasn't even the last loss. It was a loss between that. I think we played after that. And
I was about to say the next time they played, I think Haynes King was just a decoy, and they just ran the football all day.
No, they two-timed us with him and Philo is what they did.
Yeah, our defense was just
and we just couldn't figure it out.
Our defense was bad. If we had last year's defense with Cam Ward, we don't lose a game.
Y'all might have went 16-0. Yeah, 16-0 natty.
No doubt.
Mario, you messed up something so bad, Mario. But you made it for last year, so you good. You good in my eyes. But
you gotta get that hate out your heart for Georgia Tech. It's not their fault.
Man, forget them. That's how I feel.
It's not their fault. But Ace felt the same way. So like,
no, facts. Yeah, I'm not fooling with Georgia Tech either. I may not have the visceral hate at the front of my heart as I did back then, but they still don't get no love from me. I do not like Georgia Tech at all.
But you never really like Georgia Tech. Keto. That's the thing.
I like Coach Key. I think he's a great coach. I think he brought a very good culture to the team. I think he made them tough team. They're very disciplined. They're pesky. Like you see Georgia Tech play and they're pesky. That's why they give Georgia the problems that they give them. Like they just a team that don't lay down. And last year they started off hot. Like didn't they start off on like a 5-6 game win streak? Oh wait,
7.
No, hold on.
No,
8. The 8 game win streak.
8 game win streak.
And then they crumbled at the end of the year, and I don't know if that was because of injury, because I feel like Haynes King got hurt sometime in last year.
I don't know if he got hurt.
He got dinged up.
I think that was 2 years ago. But I don't think he got like hurt.
He wasn't injured though. He played.
Okay. But as you can see, like it definitely fell off after a certain point. Because I don't know how they lost to Pitt by double digits. Or NC State, to be honest, even though NC State was at NC State.
That offense got hot. NC State offense could not be stopped that game.
Yeah, I think that's probably that sounds about right. But
I know who didn't have issues with NC State.
We about to get to y'all. We about to get to y'all. Calm down.
Pick 6, baby.
Down.
But
hold on, that game was actually close though, if I remember correctly. Wasn't that game like actually close?
It wasn't. That was
I'm thinking of a different team.
That was the game where we was like, all right.
Okay, then I'm thinking of something else.
That was the get right game.
Yeah, that was
I'm
the game.
Thinking about NC State in another game because I remember one game NC State they actually was really close.
We've had some close games with them over the years, so it happens for sure. It might have been the year before, but I
wouldn't be surprised with that defense.
Yeah, but I did I think, you know what? I felt like if Georgia never lost, who was that wide receiver that went to go play with Cam Coleman at Auburn, like Eric Rivers or something like that?
Nah, Eric Rivers was at Georgia Tech last year.
Yeah, what was his name? You know who I'm talking about, dude, the dreads.
He went to Auburn?
Yes, he went to go play with Cam Coleman, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't have my SEC book here, so I'll look it up.
Yeah, but I just felt like if it wasn't like losing him, because he was very much their playmaker the year before. I think stuff like
Eric Singleton. Eric Singleton. I ain't even had to look it up. I just realized who you're talking about.
Yeah. It's like I think if they had like people like him, another very good athlete, like it would have looked different. It would have been a little more all around explosive. Because I think that with the Georgia Tech team, it wasn't like that they were balling out the arena. They were just they would smack you in the mouth. You know what I'm saying? They would take their time and they would go down the field, misdirections, quarterback runs, play action this way and that way. Like the way they play the game is nice. It's fun to watch when you're rooting for them. But if you're not rooting for them, they gonna give you some worries, man, because they just don't give up.
Yeah,
which I respect.
Yeah, but Georgia Tech to me was, while there was a good season, they were so up and down. Like you got the close game with Wake Forest, which they could have lost that game.
Yeah.
You lose the
Virginia
NC
gave them some bumps.
Yeah,
Virginia Tech gave them some bumps.
You lose the game which the NC State game, like I said, they couldn't stop NC State in that second half on offense for nothing. You lose the pick
BC
game because you throw the game away with the picks. Yeah, man. Up and down season, albeit a great season. Even the Colorado game, that was close. The first game of the season, they won 27-20. But I think Colorado was up early, and it was a struggle bus for Georgia Tech to score. Georgia Tech, I believe, had a couple turnovers early in the game and mid game. So you never got, like, I feel like if Georgia Tech at its best, you never really kind of got that. But nonetheless, great season. We can move forward because I know y'all don't want to talk about them anymore. So another team that y'all might grow to hate, Louisville. Louisville Cardinals. Now, Louisville was another one of my, I don't want to say disappointments, but I think I did have them in the ACC championship game, if I'm not mistaken. I had Clemson. No, I think I had the rematch. I think I had Clemson at SMU, so never mind. But Louisville had another solid season, though. I had them going 10-2, 6-2. They actually went 8-4, 4-4. I almost predicted the same thing. I had 10 games right, 2 games wrong with this season. Unfortunately, the 2 games I had wrong were wins. I did incorrectly predict the over 8.5 win total. Again, they missed it by the hook. They did, however, win their bowl game in a battle of a bowl game in the Boca Raton Bowl against Toledo, 27-22. That game looked like Toledo was going to win it, to be honest with you. But Louisville pulled it off. I feel like Isaac Brown had a crazy game towards the end of that for Louisville. But I feel like it was a solid season. Miller Moss had his ups and downs. But overall, I think it's solid. David Braun gets the most out of his guys. I love, me and Ace both talk about Jeff Braun, excuse me. Very, very, we're both high on Jeff Braun. I had them beating Eastern Kentucky, beating James Madison, which James Madison fought like hell in that game. James Madison looked at one point like they were the better team in this game. In that Louisville,
they were battling, they were fighting. They was like, yeah, we belong here too.
They were stopping them on 4th and shorts, 3rd and shorts. I think at one point they were up 14 against Louisville, and then it's the second half that Louisville ended up coming out on top of that. But that was a battle. They beat Bowling Green. They beat Pitt, which I had them winning. So they started off on a 4-game win streak, which I had. Then they lost to Virginia, which I had them winning. They beat Miami, which I had them beating Miami because I remember saying that y'all games be crazy, and the team that is supposed to win normally doesn't win.
Weekday game at that.
Huh? Oh, it definitely was a weekday game, but it was a night game at y'all crib.
Yeah, it was like a Thursday or Friday.
It was a Friday game. I remember. It was a Friday game.
Yep. Boston College, I had them beating them. They won. I had them beating Virginia Tech. They won. I had them beating Cal. They lost. I had them losing to Clemson. They lost. I had them losing to SMU. They lost. And I had them beating Kentucky because Kentucky sucks, in which they won. Again, going 8-4, 4-4. Dave, I think it's your turn. Talk to me about Louisville.
I know you mentioned Miller Moss. I think the 2 that stuck out to me, the 3 things that stuck out to me for Louisville when I made the prediction, even though I had a good record for them going into that season, was they were down 4 of their top offensive linemen that year. I think 1 or 2 went to the draft and 2 other ones went to transfer portal or something like that. But I did remember that Deion Branch was their receivers coach, and they had Colin Lacey on the squad. So
my boy, South Alabama transfer.
So that right there those were two of the biggest reasons why I had them going 9-3, 5-3 ACC play. I had to be Eastern Kentucky, James Madison, Bowling Green, Pitt, Virginia. Had them losing to us, even though they won, bastards. BC, Virginia Tech, Cal, and Kentucky. I had them only losing to us, Clemson, and SMU. And I mean they went 8-4, so I was only a game off, but still, for some reason I can't find it in myself to hate Louisville.
That's crazy, but y'all can hate Georgia Tech.
Only reason why. Look,
Speak for yourself.
Let me explain. The reason why is because whenever I see Louisville, I see Lamar Jackson.
Respect.
That makes me hate him even more.
Whoa! Oh yeah, because
I know.
This ain't the show for that, bro. This ain't the show for that.
I know you. You're different. You.
Hey, listen, Lamar did it to us too, man.
He did, but he was electrifying to me. He was my favorite quarterback in college at that time.
Thank you.
Sure, I can agree.
So,
thank you, Dave.
But I don't wish for them to win games. That's the only thing. I don't wish for them to win games. But
I mean, that's obvious. ACC, you won't. I get that.
Yeah, I don't hate them yet. But
let me say this though, Ace. Since Lamar Jackson doesn't help you, what about Teddy Bridgewater? Does that not help you with Louisville? He kind of kicked it off.
He did. Miami Northwestern guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen. I've always liked the quarterbacks. I've always liked certain players at Louisville. But do I like them as a program? Do I think that when I see Louisville playing, if I see Louisville playing anybody, am I ever root for Louisville to win? Most likely not.
Jeff Brown, you got the history.
Jeff Brown,
Malik Cunningham.
Listen, if they play FSU, I'm rooting for Louisville.
You can have my respect all day. You can have my respect all day. You don't have my admiration.
That's crazy.
If Jeff
Brown was back at Western Kentucky or Purdue, he had your admiration.
Yeah, he would. I'm like, look at that man dominating the mid majors. Somebody bump him up, try to get him somewhere I don't got to play him.
And that's his alma mater, bro. Good luck with that.
Send him to the Big 12.
Yeah, he's never leaving. He's not leaving no time soon. He's not leaving no time soon, bro. He's there. Unfortunately, he's coming with the furniture.
Yeah, bro. That's just crazy to me. I see all these ties, man. I ain't got to get that hate out your heart. I get it though. Don't get me wrong. I definitely get it. I would be annoyed too. So I definitely feel you. But like,
nah, man, Jeff Brown is a great coach. Jeff Brown always gets the most out of his quarterbacks.
Tyler Shuck,
except Miller Moss. Miller Moss is kind of mid last year. Let's be honest.
That's why I said he had his ups and downs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's part of the reason why they didn't have as good of a season as they thought. I thought they were going to go 9-3, 6-2. I mean, obviously I wasn't that far off. They were 9-3, right?
8-4.
8-4. Okay, so 8-4, 4-4 in ACC play. That's a decent. That's around where I thought they would be. So I'm not too mad at that. Again, Miller Moss was nasty, but I do like Isaac Brown. I think he's
tough.
The baller. I think Isaac Brown is great.
Tough.
I think
he coming out this draft next year. This is last year.
I even like Colin Lacey. I even like him.
I think he gone, but Isaac Brown, this is last year, and then he on to the NFL.
Yeah, he should be. He's too explosive to be sticking around, to be honest.
We've been a baller since freshman year.
But with that being said, it's like, Louisville, they just weren't a complete team. They seemed like they would crumble at certain points. And also very undisciplined. The only team that I seen us play that got as many flags as we got is Louisville, except for the time when they played us. But beyond that, I don't know what it is, but they definitely have these things where they just make these mental errors and they shoot them in the foot, similar to a lot of teams in college. But yeah, I think once they can get beyond that hump, who knows, what Louisville's full potential could be. But otherwise, they're going to be a fixture in the ACC. Always, I think.
Yeah,
they're always going to be somebody that you got to deal with or worry about. Especially when you're the UVAs and the Virginia Techs, all those middle of the road teams that's got to fight for their position. Louisville, end your season.
Yeah, I agree. You know, Virginia Tech might have got a shot in the arm, but we'll talk about that in the offseason
Yeah, big
later on
one.
down the line. We'll move on. And I won't start this segment off. Again, I'm gonna let y'all decide. Y'all are both Miami fans. We are going to review the Miami Hurricane season. Whichever one of y'all want to go for it, go for it.
You go ahead,
Well,
Dave.
I appreciate that, sir. Um, Ace, don't hate me, please,
Do you think,
because
man?
I
No
had
judgment.
um I had us losing the game that we won, and that was the first game of the season against Notre Dame, a
Oh,
team
I
that we,
remember that.
I remember that. I remember that
We
actually.
tried to talk you out of
I
that.
remember that.
yeah,
I do
I
remember
remember,
that.
I remember. But remember, my reasoning was I think that we're going to get caught off guard in the first game of the season, possibly just because it's Notre Dame and it was a big program. I could see us losing that game, but I had us going undefeated in the ACC. I basically had us winning every game after that. I had us
Mm.
losing the. I had us winning 11 straight games after that, going to the ACC championship game and beating Clemson in the ACC championship game, winning our first ACC title in our history since we joined the ACC. Um, and I
That is
also
crazy to think
and I
about.
also rightfully predicted that our defense was going to be top
You did. I remember
10.
that.
I said that was going to happen. I said our defense was going to be good because Corey Hatteman was at Minnesota. He had them ranked 11th in the nation.
I
And
remember
I
these
said our
games.
defense is going to be out of all the portals we got. Ruben Bain was back healthy. Akeem Messador was there. I said we're going to be top 10, and we were top 10. I did.
Were
I
y'all top
talked.
five? Y'all might have been top five. Y'all defense was like that.
Might have
No, we
been.
was definitely. I think it depends on the
I think
statistic.
we're like 8 or 9.
Man,
I
yeah,
know we were
y'all
top
defense
10.
was like that.
And I thought that the crazy thing is I talked about Carson Beck because I said I understand how he was with Georgia, but I feel like he was going to be a little bit different with us. I feel like it was a redemption for him, and it kind of was a redemption for him because look, the man he took us all the way to the national championship game this year. It wasn't just him; it was Mark Tony and C.J. Daniels and all the other and Mark Fletcher and guys, but he
Go
did
ahead.
he was not underwhelming. Let's put it that way. He
Until it
wasn't
mattered most.
underwhelming.
Until it mattered most.
Of course, that's what Carson Beck does, unfortunately. Um, and we only had. I talked about the returning players. We only had like 50% of returning, 57% players returning. But that's changing now. Now we have more guys returning. I think we didn't have that many players in the transfer portal this season. I know we're not talking about the season, but
Nah, I get what you're saying.
um, I thought that was the year for us simply because the defense had changed. I was like, look, man, if the defense got better, I don't see us really losing that many games. But of course, we lost 2 games we shouldn't have lost with Louisville and SMU, and that messed us up. If we win one of those games, we're in the ACC championship game, and we're not
Very true.
losing. We're not losing to Duke or Virginia if we get
Y'all would
into
have
that.
played Virginia, and y'all are smoking Virginia.
Yeah, we not losing that game, and that would have been an automatic bid for us in there. We wouldn't have to worry
Y'all would
about
have been a top 4 seed.
yeah. So, but we did what we were supposed to do when we in the playoffs, beating Ohio State, beating Texas A&M, and beating Ole Miss. Malachi Tony had a fantastic year, ACC Player of the Year, ACC Freshman of the Year. I mean, the man had a fantastic year.
He ain't won ACC Player of the Year. Oh, he did.
Freshman.
He did. He
Yeah, he did.
did.
He won
No,
offensive player of the year,
did he?
offensive freshman
Yeah,
of the year, something like that. He
My
won
my
one of those.
research.
He won two. He won two
My
awards though
research
for sure.
had Haynes King win Player of the Year.
I think it was Haynes King that won Player of the Year, but he won Offensive Player
Freshman
of
of
the
the
Year
Year.
and Freshman of the Year.
Yeah.
He won he won 2 awards.
Yeah, he did. It was freshman and offensive freshman, I think, something like
Might have
that.
been.
Because you're right, Haynes King did win offensive player of the year.
And I mean, he had 103 catches in that season,
Win.
broke a Miami record. I mean, the man was just unstoppable. CJ Daniels having one of the most phenomenal one-handed catches I've ever seen in football.
First game of the year.
Yeah,
Crazy
that was
against
tough.
Notre Dame. Held Jeremiah Love to 33 yards rushing in that game. I mean, the defense was nasty. and I think it's going to be even better this year. So shout out to the U.
Ace.
That's running back, and that's winning championship this year.
Yeah, basically what he said, man. Well, now I could be wrong about this, but my paper says I had Miami going 10-2. Now, if I said that on the show, I can't necessarily remember because I might have just said, "No, I'm gonna just speak with my heart," and my heart says we're going undefeated because I do that sometimes. But I knew that we were going to. I knew we were going to drop the ball somewhere.
I can look while you talk.
Because I knew we were going to drop the ball somewhere, but just because it tends to be what we do. Now, if you want to talk about Carson Beck, yes, we can. Yes, we can fault him for throwing that pass. I mean, we can, but we can't. I think
Which
it
one?
depends on how you look at it. Particularly the interception at the end of the game, because I think he expected it to
Which
be a
game?
different kind of. Shut up, Carl.
Oh,
Somebody, somebody
I'm about
did.
to cut you out your own show.
I'm talking specifically about Indiana because it's just like, bruh, like I think there's two things with that pass. And yes, I could be making excuses for him. One, I just don't think that his arm was the same last year. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Carson Beck throw in the pros this year and it look like it's way more simple the ball, like more similar to how he was throwing it in Georgia, just because he's had more time with his. I was like a Tommy John thing or something like that. I can't remember exactly what the injury was,
UCL.
but UCL, yeah. So that has to affect how much spin and how much like power you can put on the ball. And I think Indiana just fooled him. I think he thought he had like the safety was going to drop it, or the corner was going to drop it. When he went, it was just like, bruh, it is what it is. But beyond that, bro, Carson Beck had a decent year. I don't think you could put any quarterback in place of him and we get to the same place. You know what I mean? With a lot of the things that happened last year, we needed somebody with experience to kind of usher us through a lot of those moments where, a lot of people on that team never been in those big moments before. So I do appreciate him for that. I do think that he came and he did what he was supposed to do. I think that it helped him at the end of the day. Did he go day one? No, but he still got drafted. And, it's also helping our perception for quarterbacks coming in later on. So in that sense, it was a great success, the Carson Beck experiment.
He got drafted to your team, didn't he?
No, he went to the Cardinals. He
Oh yeah, he in my
it was like
division.
it's like third round or something. Have fun with that. Y'all gonna smack the. Hopefully he don't play, but that's their problem.
Yeah, that's their problem.
Um, as far as everybody else, like, the running backs were great. Mark Fletcher really came on as the season went. Shamar
Mhm.
Brown really was a very good shot in the arm when we needed it. Pringle, he's going to be good as the years go on. He's very explosive. He's fast. He got some wiggle. I like that kid a lot. Wide receivers, I mean, we don't really got to talk too much about Tony because we already know what he did. He's phenomenal. Second best wide receiver in the nation, hands down. I think tight end play was really where tight end play is what lost us that national championship. That blocked field goal due Alex Bowman from Tulane.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna say I hate him because
I'm gonna
I am a
say
better person,
very
but
underwhelming. I thought he was gonna be. I thought he was gonna do big
yeah,
things
you
at
thought he was gonna
Miami.
come in. You thought he was gonna come in and have a role in the offense and stuff
Yeah.
like this. And I don't know if his lack of being a part of the game plan contributed to his lack of effort in that very critical moment in the national championship. But again, I'm not here to bash him because to be honest, we should have Mendoza shouldn't have ping ponged off our defense to score in that
That's
on that
hard.
run. You know what
That's
I mean? It
hard.
was
That's
hard. It
want
was hard.
to.
It was hard, and he wanted to beat us bad. He wanted to beat us bad, bro. Like
Yeah, because he's a. I didn't even know he
Mendoza
was from
had a thing
Florida.
against us. Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't know he was Florida. The
he
Miami
went to the
kid.
same
Yeah.
high school Mario Cristobal and our offensive coach,
And
line coach went to.
didn't D-Lo go
And
to the
Bryce
same high school?
Fitzgerald.
Didn't
Who?
Pons go to the same high school too, or no? Or
I know
Pons might just be
I
another
know
Miami
he's from
kid.
down there. He's
Yeah,
a
he just
Miami
might be
kid, but I
another
don't know if he
Miami
went to the
kid.
same
Miami
jump.
kid.
But he went to Christopher Columbus High School. He went there. Our one of our dudes, Bryce Fitzgerald, that got that pick at the end of the Texas A&M game 13. He
Hmm.
went there. Like
Mhm.
they're a pipeline for college players for sure. But beyond that, and I don't want to just lock in on the national championship game because there's been plenty of other great moments. Like, you know, like you said, we really appreciate seeing the course of Ruben Bain's career, seeing Akeem Mesidor come in from West Virginia, change his position, lose the weight, look like a completely different player.
Bald.
You know what I'm saying? What did I say?
Just ask if y'all had a missing piece. What do you think the missing piece was? Which I don't think I really had a missing piece. You just lost to
Yeah,
another team.
I don't.
I think
wasn't
it
a
was
missing
just.
piece.
I think it was just the strategies and just the mistakes that we made. We didn't really have any mistakes. We had everything we needed. We just didn't capitalize on it.
I just think y'all just lost to a
miscellaneous.
very good Indiana team, bro.
Yeah, you know what it was. If there was any missing piece, it was that cornerback that we had out for the first half. If there was to say a missing piece,
was it
it
targeting?
was that. Yeah, it was that bad targeting.
It was
No, it was
OJ. Wasn't it Frederic? Was it Frederic?
Yes,
right?
it was OJ Frederic. It was OJ.
Yeah.
Was it OJ?
I think it was
OJ was
Frederic.
hurt. Was it him? It
I
might
think it
have
was.
been. It might have been. It might have been. I can't quite remember right now. But yeah, I don't think we had a missing piece. If anything, we could.
I'm gonna look it up.
Could we have had better quarterback play if we had a better quarterback? Sure, like that would have took us over the top. Like I can't deny that. But as far as a missing piece, I could say linebacker play. Our linebacker play wasn't necessarily the best. We had Torrey. We have the same. They are good. Don't get me wrong.
It was Xavier Lucas.
Yeah, okay,
Lucas. Yep, exactly. Yeah, but if we had him playing all game, we'd have been straight.
I do remember y'all defense turning up.
Or if Damari Brown was never hurt, because Damari Brown was out like the last 6 weeks of the year. You know what I mean? We needed him bad. Because we just lost our depth as the year went along, and I think a part of why we had that stumble in the middle of the year is because Keontae was really hurt at one time. Like we had lost some key players in certain positions, which in the end later on in the season it helped us because it got the young guys in. And they had that game experience when they got to those critical games later on. Right. But I think overall, like it. I feel like I'm being long-winded into it. Overall, great season, great stepping stone, heading in the right direction. I couldn't be happy from what I seen.
Yeah, we both predicted they would be in the national championship game, and they were. So.
Yeah, Ace. Both of y'all predicted them to go 11-1 too. I went back and listened. Ace had them going 11-1. Dave had them going 11-1. I can't remember who Ace's one loss was. I heard
it wasn't Notre Dame. It was.
I think it was Florida. Team. Yeah. I think you said Florida. Because I've heard the part where I asked one of y'all, your only loss is Florida, and I know it wasn't Dave because Dave said it was Notre Dame.
Okay, yeah,
but I could be wrong. But
that's nasty if I said that.
Very.
That is.
But
we don't lose to Florida.
I said that.
Y'all spanked them, so it don't matter. But yeah. So it's my turn. I obviously was the only one that was under the win total of 9.5. I had them going 8-4, 5-3. I had them being Notre Dame. I had them being Bethune-Cookman. I had them being South Florida. I did have y'all losing to Florida, so my apologies. I had y'all losing to Florida. I had y'all beating Florida State. I had y'all losing to Louisville. I had y'all beating Stanford. I had y'all losing to SMU. I had y'all beating Syracuse. I had y'all beating NC State. I had y'all beating Virginia Tech. And for some strange reason, I had y'all losing to Pitt. I don't know why I did that.
Hey, man,
I'm going to go. I'm going to listen back for that one because that's crazy. But I did actually predict the SMU and Louisville losses, which is crazy looking back. But I had y'all going 8-4, 5-3. But again, like y'all said, y'all went 10-2, 6-2. And I would agree with y'all, great season. But I'm gonna disagree with y'all about one thing, and that is Carson Beck.
I knew it.
I'm sorry. Good player, quarters 1 through 3. But if the game get crunchy, and I believe I said this on my preview, I can't trust him in tight game situations late game. And what did he do in tight game situations late game? Throw it away. You want to bring up Texas A&M? Mark Fletcher went dumb against Texas A&M. He put that game away. Ohio State, he put that game away. Like dog. Mark Fletcher's emergence in the playoffs was a very big reason to why y'all made the national championship, as well as your defense balling out. Very big. Now, I'll say this. I believe Carson Beck had I needed drive against Ole Miss, like Dave just said. late game that helped put that game away, and I'll give him credit for that. I'm not a hater. If you do good, I give you praises. Something like, Dante wouldn't have said about a certain player in fan frame, but we're gonna refrain from him. But if you do good, I'm gonna give you praises. But if you do bad, I gotta talk about the bad too. In 3 of the games this year, your 3 losses, you threw picks late ball game to lose them.
Listen, I agree with you. However, I will say I don't think it's as black and white as Carson Beck was just selling at a certain point. Because all right, the one game I will say for sure, Louisville, 100%.
Yeah, I'm about to say that's undisputed.
Louisville is 100% his fault why we
Absolutely.
lost.
That was.
I'm not all right, and I know what you're about to get at, and I'm not going to fully blame him for the SMU loss because, first of all, tackling that game was terrible.
You can't, and also the penalties, bro. Like there is a
that too.
discrepancy in how we are officiated. I'm not trying to sound like a crybaby or nothing, but there's a
You know why?
discrepancy.
You know why?
It's the logo, bro. It's the logo. It's psychological, bro. People will see that logo and they will think of Miami in the 90s, and they will think, "Oh, this logo."
I don't think the refs are the reason why y'all lost that game, though. I think
I'm not saying
you're not saying that they're the reason, but it was a part of why some of that stuff happened.
It's a snowball effect. It's a snowball effect.
But y'all tackling was probably the worst I've ever seen that game. Y'all allowed so much yards to catch that game. That was terrible.
And the Louisville game too. That was terrible. Chris Bell was going. Chris Bell was getting anything he wanted, bro. It was
that game alone probably got him drafted.
It was so bad to watch. And it's like, dang, bro. Like we really lost twice in our stadium last year.
Yeah,
we really lost twice in
crazy.
But the thing is, even with the bad tackling and the poor officiating, y'all still had a chance. And in overtime, Carson Beck threw a pick.
Yeah, I think it was tipped though, but yes.
And then Indiana defense, second half, when y'all got Xavier Lucas back.
Yes, bro, but again, I don't put that loss. If I'm putting that,
I'm not putting a loss on Carson Beck.
It's on Alex Bowman. That's on.
I'm not putting a loss on Carson Beck. But what I am saying though, in crunch situations, it's no coincidence
it doesn't help his perception
that he throws a pick in these crunch time, big needed games. If he beats SMU or Louisville, well, Louisville is 100% out. Like he did that from start to finish. So I can't say Louisville, but if SMU or Indiana, obviously, is a national championship game, he doesn't do that. The perception of Carson Beck is completely switched.
Yeah, and I think a part of it is because when you look back at that play, he also could have went somewhere else with the ball, and it's just like. But I think he had he saw the coverage. He knew where he wanted to go before the game. I think they just outplayed him. They just out-schemed him at that one time. You know what I mean?
Game of chess, and he lost. It's unfortunate.
Tip my hat to him. You know what I mean? Like it definitely hurts, and I can't. But this is the thing. Even for Carson Beck to be who he is, I can't act like, dang. Where do I rank him on the list of recent QBs from Miami? He's got to be second. I'm not going to put De'Aaron King above him. I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry. I have to do this. Other than Cam Ward and Carson Beck.
You put De'Aaron King over Cam?
No. What I'm trying to say is the list isn't really illustrious.
But that's what I'm saying.
Cam and Carson Beck.
It's like even with that, I can't be like, all right, yeah.
No, he's going to drop the 3 after this year.
I had to delete that video from my phone from the year before.
Oh, I got it.
I got it. You got it. No, I got it. It's like I can't even carry it like that no more. Like, was he the best? No, but man, bro balled out. Bro,
he had a good season.
You got to go do something for us, Carson. Go do it. He did it, man. Like he just ain't doing it.
It sounds like Ace. It sounds like I was trying to give credit to K Klubnik.
Copium. Yeah.
It sounds like us giving credit to K Klubnik.
It's roughly the same. It's roughly the same. K might have had
I don't like the fact that you speaking facts right now. I don't like the fact that you speaking facts.
I'm sorry.
Oh, neighbor. But K had better numbers at least.
That's what I'm saying. Like it sounds like that. Like if Carson Beck came back,
you look at the sheet, you like 36, bro.
Like if Carson Beck came back to college, I wouldn't have been surprised if like next year he'd have had like K Klubnik's equivalent of his senior year. I wouldn't have been surprised. But like
but when you look at Carson Beck's like win and loss over his career, it's like, all right, bro. You can put him up there as like some of the best, you know what I mean?
He was at Georgia.
Just as far as
I'm not going to do that to him.
Wins and losses as a starter.
I want as much as I want to do that to him, I'm not, because I mean I could just be like he was at Georgia and then it's like
look, the brother completed 72% of passes, 30 touchdowns,
But like
12
even
interceptions. But I mean, look, he had some of
he
his
had
best
he
numbers
had a
with
good
us.
year. I'm not debating that. But like
Pretty
even if
good
you look
year.
at the numbers, you see how Gunnar Stockton had decent numbers, but like people looking at him in totality is like, bruh, he didn't play like the number. And I'm not saying it's Carson Beck. I'm just saying like you can do that with Gunnar
About to
Stockton
say,
at Georgia
I
as
would,
well.
I would probably take Carson Beck over Gunnar Stockton,
Oh,
and
not even
that's
probably easily.
Yes.
and that's not even me trying to be biased.
No, I agree. But all in all, great
But
season.
I get what you're saying. Though. I get what you're saying.
It was a heck of a ride for y'all for sure.
No doubt.
I rooted for y'all for most of it, as y'all know.
You did.
I was happy to see that Miami
You held it down.
had a great run. I ain't gonna lie, it was 1 week Miami fans pissed me off so much. I was like, bro, at this point, y'all complaining too much. Y'all should have handled business. Like, no, maybe y'all don't deserve to get in. That it was irritating me, but y'all got in.
It was out of spite, not because
yeah,
you're
it wasn't
being
job.
eight.
It wasn't job. It wasn't job, but like, dog, I really enjoyed the season from y'all, and I'm actually looking forward.
I had just prepared myself to be disappointed.
Yeah, I remember I came in the chat, not the chat that we all are in, but the other chat, and I was like, bro, y'all got like a 2% chance with it, but I really think that y'all can make it, and y'all made it. Y'all made the best of the run, made the national championship, and I expect for y'all, like I said about Georgia Tech with the sky being the ceiling, I also agree that with y'all, I think with Crystal Ball and his ability to recruit, bringing that, it feels like he's bringing that old Miami feeling back, and
you see the flips happening, man.
He's a master recruiter. When he flipped the guy from Georgia, I said, "It is."
Yeah,
it is.
And that's opening up that Cali pipeline too.
Yes.
That might be good for quarterback. In college QBs anyway. I don't know about NFL, but college QBs for sure. But yeah, great season by y'all. But we spent enough time on Miami. I think this has been the longest segment. We got to move on.
It has. It always is.
We got to move on to UNC. We go from the highest of highs to one of the lows of the ACC. Dave is putting his head down because unfortunately he had a lot of high hopes for Bill Belichick. I'm gonna start this one off again now. I told y'all that TCU game was not gonna be close. a lot of people thought UNC was gonna win because of Bill. I'm like, bro, no.
At least go ahead.
No, go ahead. What you gotta say?
I was gonna say at least I had them losing that game. I said
good. I mean, TCU. So. Good. Now TCU, the rest of the season, I mean, solid, but I was not high on UNC this year, like a lot of people were. I knew Bill Belichick had to deal with a lot. UNC roster wasn't the greatest. They lost Drake May. Had some questions at quarterback. Had some questions at a lot of positions. I had UNC going 5-7, 3-5, and that was giving them too much credit. They ended up going 4-8, 2-6. I had 9 games right, 3 games wrong. I did correctly, because I didn't understand the total, predict the under 7.5 wins. I actually bet that too. But under 7.5 wins was correct. Now, the game, I had them losing to TCU, had them beating Charlotte, beating Richmond, losing to UCF, losing to Clemson, losing to Cal. I actually had them beating UVA, which the UVA segment, I'm going to regret. They lost. I had them losing to Syracuse. They actually won. I had them beating Stanford. They won. I had them beating Wake Forest. Another segment I'm going to regret. They lost. I had them losing to Duke and NC State. They went winless in the state of North Carolina. Again, I expected this. It's just the North Carolina roster had a lot of turnover. They lost some of their best players. I believe they lost Josh Downs. No, Josh Downs was already in the league, but actually Josh Downs and Drake May was in the league already. That's right. The year before they had Max Johnson. Max Johnson got hurt in that Minnesota game and was out for the year off that nasty hit. Previous to this season. But they lost Omarion Hampton to the draft. It was just a lot they had to replace for them. So
that was really hard them.
Yeah. So do I see Bill Belichick? Well, we'll talk about that later. Anyway, I think, to be honest with you, even though 4-8 sounds like a terrible season, I think that was kind of solid for what they had to go through, especially being North Carolina. They're not a football school already. And now you got so much to replace. I don't think 4-8 was that bad for my expectations. Dave, you want me to save you to go last, or do you want to go next?
Nah, I'll go next.
All right.
So, if you people didn't know, I am the only one that gave them a winning record. I had UNC going 8-4.
I was about to say, I think I remember you saying 84.
Yeah. I had high hopes for Bill Belichick. I said, maybe this is something that he needed, to go coach kids, bring them, some right energy. He seems to be a little bit different now, smiling a lot more, doing just not being like he was in New England. Maybe this is just him being fresh. But then the coordinators just didn't make sense to me after a while. I don't know.
One of them, his son. His son was somewhere
Yeah,
on staff.
yeah.
He both his sons.
DC, I think DC, right?
Yeah, Steve and Brian are both on the staff. So it's not just one. Both he got two of his sons on the staff. So
I think he took him from Washington.
Yeah, then Freddie Kitchens was the OC. So I mean, I rightfully predicted they would lose to TCU. They did, but I had them going 6-2 ACC play.
It's all good, Dave. I'm telling you, bro, because I'm gonna get shot down too, bro. It's all good.
Don't worry.
We've been there, bro.
Nowhere near the worst.
Yeah.
And I had them going undefeated in the state of North Carolina, and they went winless in North Carolina.
Bro, it's all good, bro.
They lost Tobacco Road for sure.
Oh my gosh, Bill, why you do that to me, man? Why you do that to me? Hopefully this year's a lot better for you.
Hold on, you don't want that. Don't forget you are a Miami fan still.
No. I'm saying outside of us, but hopefully he has a better season out from last year. I'm not saying that they go 8-4 or 9-3, but at least get a bowl game this year.
I don't even know if UNC even did good enough in the transfer portal again later. We'll talk about that later down the line. But
I'm with you on that one. So but that's what I predicted for UNC, man. I mean,
it's all good, Dave.
I don't want to keep hurting myself right now because I'm hurting.
I've done this for 3 years, bro. I done been predicting some of the highest of heights, and they were bad. Bro, this year, Clemson, Penn State. I predicted Penn State to go undefeated and win the Big Ten.
Somebody gonna make you look like a fool.
Yeah, bro, it's all good.
I know, but the warning signs were there. I neglected them.
I do remember us trying to warn you.
I neglected them all. I was like, nah, man, it's Bill. He gonna come and change life in UNC, and he ain't changed nothing. So.
I will say this though, I feel correctly was so confused about the Gio Lopez transfer signing. Didn't understand it. And I don't think it was a success there, but
nah,
I wouldn't say so.
I tried to highlight it. I thought it was going to be something good, but
yeah, I never understood that one, especially with Max Johnson. I thought Max Johnson was cool. I mean, he just got hurt. Let him. I don't know where Max Johnson is now.
It's Bill, so that's something that he was going to do anyway.
An insurance firm, I'm sure.
He did it with Drew Bledsoe and Tom Brady. I mean, Drew Bledsoe was a baller, and then Brady.
But those are kind of like similar quarterbacks in terms of skill sets. Max Johnson and Gio Lopez is like night and day different quarterbacks.
Yeah. Gio Lopez is definitely like a scrambler. I'm gonna throw it up if you open type. But not you don't trust him to sling it for 2,500, even though he has done that.
Yeah, he had a good year at South Alabama.
Lefty,
the option with him and Fluff Bothwell, I believe. So.
Yeah, but again, look what he's doing.
Different offenses.
Like option, you know what I mean?
He probably would have fit better at Georgia Tech or something like that.
For sure.
100%. A place that has that, but
he'd have fit better at Wake Forest.
You know, Bill.
Hey, him with that long mesh. I don't think they even do it anymore.
They don't do it no more, but because they got what's his face.
I do think maybe. I think maybe if he had Gus, I think Gus Malzahn probably would have did something like that.
Yeah, him at Florida State with Gus, that'd have been kind of nasty.
So,
yeah, I would have been.
Wouldn't have worked against us, but
I mean, look, he's taller than Thomas Castellano, so
that's true.
Is he?
At least I think.
I'm about to say they might be the same height.
I think so. Actually, I'm about to Google it right.
I'm about to say, is he?
Let me see, because he actually might be.
Castellanos.
They might be the same height, if not like an inch or two apart.
Well, this say 6 feet, so he's definitely 5'10".
It's no way Joe Lopez is 6 feet.
No, he's definitely 5'10". Oh wait, He's at Wake Forest.
Oh yeah, look at that.
He's at Wake Forest.
Look at that.
Literally, he's at Wake Forest.
A place that's going to
well,
really help his
I
talent.
think Jake Dicker might turn him up because if you remember, Jake Dicker
he
had
might-
Cam
he might
and
have a
John
little-
Mateer.
He might have a little year, man. I don't know. Oh, but let me talk about North
USC.
Carolina. So I had them going like 6-6. So not quite that much off from where Dave is, but definitely over what reality showed them. I think this is the one thing that we really need to ask when it comes to this team. At what point did Bill Belichick become single during the year? Is he still with that fine
He's
young
still
lady
with-
who we are
I think he's
sure
still with her.
loves him
He's
for
still
his
with her.
I think he's
personality?
still with her.
He's still with her.
So do we think that things get better? Or
Bro, we know what that is, bro.
well, yeah, it's true love. She loves him for his looks and his personality. This is exactly what this is.
Yeah.
And she's going to help him
1000%.
with recruiting, and
Still stick with him.
she's
thick and
gonna
thin.
she's gonna be the team mom and give them orange slices and Capri Suns at halftime. You know what I mean? It's gonna be great as long as she's around and he's happy, bro.
Capri Suns,
limit.
Free Snacks. You know?
Sky's the limit. But nah, you want to see what's trash, man. I'm not even about to spend much about the time on them just because they have too much to figure out before they get that good. You know what I mean? Drake May ain't coming to save you. And there ain't another Sam Howell coming through there. Somebody need to call up Mac Jones, Mac Brown, tell him, hey, look, we know you like 80 or something. But this other dude
We
is 80
sorry.
and he tripping. So can you please come back and bring some just regular good old boy college football back to North Carolina and just give us 1 or 2 years and then we'll figure out the rest. But
Yeah,
somebody need to
after
pay
this-
Belichick and get him
Bill
and
got to
his
show
sons
me
up out
something
of there.
this year. Bill got to show me something this year, man.
I'm not gonna lie.
feel
I kind of thought that his NFL experience and all this stuff would at least get them like 2 wins, and maybe it
See,
did.
that's what I was thinking.
But clearly it wasn't
different
enough.
game. It's a different game. Oh,
Yeah, it is though. It is.
I found out what Max Johnson is, by the way. Max Johnson is at Georgia Southern, so we will be watching him in some Sun Belt football, Ace.
You will be watching them.
It's like,
Hey,
nah,
Georgia Southern be one of them low key schools.
It is. Georgia Southern's cool, but I never want to see Max Johnson. I never want to see Max Johnson ever again in my life.
Dang, that's messed
Max
up.
Johnson needs to be selling insurance, bro.
dang.
You ain't
Bro,
hear him
he's
say that earlier? He
24.
said it like 2 minutes ago. He was like-
24, bro.
he said Max Johnson probably had an insurance firm.
Oh my god.
Bro, who did Max Johnson come in with? He came in like
Came in with his brother. They both went to Texas A&M, right? Or was it Louisville? Then Texas A&M. Not Louisville, LSU.
I thought he was at
and then Texas
LSU.
A&M.
Yeah, he was at
Yeah,
LSU.
he was
at
at
one
LSU
point.
for a point in time, but I can't remember what came first. I think
But
LSU might have came first.
Max,
I think
Max
he did
Johnson
that Brian
is
Kelly.
probably a
Yes.
6. This is going to be his 6-year plan. 1, 2, 3,
You'll be
4,
fine.
5, 6. This is going to be his 7th year playing.
But he got hurt
He
in
needs
like
to go.
2 of them.
Seven?
You
Yeah,
need to leave.
but you gotta think he got hurt in some of those years though.
Yeah, he did get hurt. He got hurt.
And then last year he didn't even play
LSU John, and he got hurt at
North Carolina in the Minnesota game.
However,
Wow.
let's think about what Max Johnson's best year was. Well, his best year was decent actually.
All right, I was about to say it was probably
LSU.
all right. Yeah, it was probably all right.
Yeah, LSU.
Nothing.
That's something to look forward watching the UNC
Nothing.
game.
There's nothing.
Man, I think he gonna
They
do fine at
opponent.
Georgia Southern.
Their opponent probably.
Yeah, that's it. Not
If they
them.
playing somebody fire, it'd be a good game.
I
to
think
watch.
he'll be good. He gonna be all right at Georgia Southern. I'm a tune in. I got you, Max. Hey, I don't know what to tell you when it comes to something to look forward to in the UNC game currently, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not that tapped in right now.
Nah.
But when we
Me
give
either.
you the preview, I'll probably have an answer for you.
Yeah, we'll find something.
Yeah. But Dave, I know you said you had to leave after this, but I see that the UNC topic had you down. Do you mind if we pull an audible and go to Virginia before you leave, so you can have some type of bragging right? Before,
Yes, please.
Yeah, you might as well. Yeah.
and then we'll just go back to our regular schedule program.
Please.
All right, so we're gonna pull an audible for Dave. Dave said he got to leave after UNC, but UNC really got him down, so we'll go to the Virginia. Mind you, I am spiting myself to save Dave right now. So,
Right. Yeah. Yeah, you're really saving them.
I mean, let's end on a positive note for him. I mean, I can't end on a positive note regardless.
Yeah,
But
well, it ain't positive for us either.
that's what I'm saying. I'm spiting myself right now to do this.
Yeah, because y'all definitely came at me because I was in the
Bruh,
car.
Bruh,
crazy.
we thought they was
Now,
going through
I remember,
trash, boy.
I remember. So that's what I said. I'm spiting myself here. But we're gonna pull an audible to Virginia. Um, yeah, man. Shout out Tony Elliott. Had an incredible year. Made the ACC championship game. Lost in the ACC championship game. I believe Chandler Morris threw a pick to lose that game in overtime. 27-20. Virginia kind of had that game won, if I remember, and then UNC did something to kick a field goal and force overtime, if I remember correctly, or maybe it was the other way around. Maybe Duke had that game won and Virginia did something to force overtime. That detail is kind of murky to me. But all I know is Duke won in overtime 27-20. And then Virginia went on to win the Gator Bowl in an ugly defensive slugfest against Mizzou 13-7. I had Virginia going 2-10, 1-7. So again, I'm spiting myself to save Dave because I had them winning one game at ACC play, and the one game I had them winning was Stanford, which I got right. But nonetheless, they actually went in reverse. They went 7-1 in ACC play. I can't remember that actual. They went 10-2. So I literally was the anti-Virginia. They went 10-2. I had them going 2-10. They went 7-1 in ACC play. I had them going 1-7. So anti-Virginia here. Chandler Morris had a great year. Shout out to Jamari Taylor. I think this year put him on the map. He went to the draft. I don't remember if he got drafted actually or not.
No,
but
Virginia actually had no players drafted. No players drafted.
That sucks because they had Yoda Singer get drafted the year before.
No players drafted.
Yeah, that is trash. He's on the Jaguars right now, undrafted on the Jags. Dang, that sucks. But they had some solid players.
Yeah,
I'm blanking on the receiver, Terrell, I think. Why am I blanking on his name? I can't remember his name, bro, but he was a solid receiver. And then they had the other receiver that was speedy in space. Which I'm blanking on his name too.
I remember Jamari Taylor, but he's a running back.
Yeah, that was a running back. They had a solid defense too. I remember their defense actually being really solid for Virginia. Just an overall great year. Chandler Morris had a phenomenal year. That's why I said
Trail Harris. I think that's who you think.
Trail Harris is one. Is it Cam Vaughn? I think Cam Vaughn is the other guy I'm thinking about. Cam Ross. There we go. Cam Ross. I can't remember his last name, but Cam Ross had a solid year as well. Chandler Morris, like I said, a phenomenal year. That's why I wish he would have went to the draft. He tried to get an extra year eligibility. I'm pretty sure he's firmly denied now. But yeah, Tony Elliott, man, heck of a year. He had a very disciplined, very dog fighting of a team, and he deserves everything from last season because. And I do remember Dave pointing this out. This was like one of the more talented teams that he has ever had at Virginia. And he proved us right. So, Ace, I'm going to go to you so Dave can get all the bad stuff that we had overshadowed.
All right, yeah. So, I definitely thought Virginia was going to be like the scum at the bottom of the shoe. I thought Chandler Morris raised their floor, but I didn't think that they were going to. I didn't think they were going to go much past that. Also, you want to know what's funny? Chandler Morris had 3 freshman years. He wasn't getting no more eligibility. Who'd be kidding? Like, come on now. Come on, brother. Like, let's be real. But anyway, I really thought that they had lost everybody. And I think what contributed to why I thought they would be so bad was just because of the year before they looked like they couldn't get nothing done. But you know what this team ended up being? It ended up being very battle tested. They went to 4 different games with the overtime. I think one of them double overtime. They had that very close loss to NC State earlier in the year. Like this team actually could have had an even better record than they had. You know, it's kind of it's funny to see, and it shows how how fast things can change in college football. And shout out to them. While I didn't think that they would have the season that they had, I think the ACC is much better when there's a lot of parity and there's a lot of teams who can challenge each other week by week, and it pushes everybody else better, you know. And I think that's what we need to do as a conference, especially if you want to get the respect and the money and the playoff spots that the ACC commissioners seem to think that they deserve. These are the things that need to happen throughout the conference in order to make bringing SMU and bringing Stanford and Cal and all these other teams make it worth it. Yeah. But overall, UVA, shout out to them. They did great and they proved me wrong 1,000%.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna say this real quick. Like they lost Kobe Pace, they lost Malachi Fields, they lost Jonas Sanker, Chico Bennett. Even though Chico Bennett was very, very disappointing at Virginia his last year, but they lost so much. I'm like, dog, it's tough to replace that. And you had UVA as well. But I will say that the NC State game was like the Jamari Taylor breakout game, in my opinion. To me, that put Jamari Taylor on the map as a really good running back in the ACC. So, shout out to them. Go ahead, Dave. Talk your talk.
Yeah, so I had them going 7-5. I said that this was the best roster Tony Allen had since he became the head coach. I talked about what Chandler Morris did in North Texas. He had 37, almost 3,800 passing yards and 31 touchdowns at North Texas. And I said that I feel like that will bode well at Virginia. And I mean, to my surprise, they went 10-2. I didn't think they would do that well. I did feel like that they would at least be bowl eligible and win some surprise games. I had them going 4-4 to ACC play. I had them losing to FSU, Louisville, UNC, and Duke. I had them beating Stanford, Cal, Wake Forest, and Virginia Tech. Along with winning, beating William and Mary. Was it Charleston? That was Charleston College, something like that.
Charleston.
And Washington State. Those are the games I had them winning. I had them losing against NC State.
Oh no, they played Coastal, not Charleston. Coastal Carolina.
Oh, Coastal Carolina. Sorry, yeah. Coastal
Carolina.
Carolina.
Had them losing that game, bro. Oh my god.
And wasn't that the NC State game the game that didn't count as the ACC game?
Yeah, that game did not count towards ACC record.
It was just so weird.
That's the phony stuff we was talking about that need to be changed.
Yeah,
because they would have put them as an extra ACC game. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So, I mean,
because if that would have been an ACC, that would have been an ACC game, we would have been in.
Yep. So I'm just glad that I
they wouldn't have.
I think.
Remember, Virginia went 7-1, so they'd have just been a part of the tiebreaker with y'all.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And then they would have had a half a game because it was an extra one. So.
Yeah, well, I keep trying to spin it in my favor.
Well, we ain't got to worry about that this year.
So, hopefully not.
So awesome. I mean, shout out to Chandler Morris and Tony Elliott, Virginia. Like I said, I felt like that they would have a good year, and they had a great year. So
phenomenal.
Shout out to them.
You know what else was the Jamari Taylor coming out game, Carl? FSU. That's that Johnny had like 30 carries. And he just kept.
That was literally the next game, I think.
I feel like everybody had a coming out game against those guys.
Yeah,
other than Alabama.
Yeah, that Jamari Taylor definitely had a game that game. But yeah, Dave, you were the only one to have the over 6.5 wins. You had it right at 7, which is the hook. Me and Ace both had under 6.5. So we talked trash, but you got the last laugh on that one. Any last words before you sign out?
Hey man, I always appreciate coming on here, being able to talk some college football, talking about the U, talking about the ACC. I don't get this many opportunities to get on another show outside of mine or the regular R2L show. So, hey, I appreciate you for having me on here as always. Ace, you know what it is, my guy.
As long as y'all let Tomo throw that up, I'm fine.
Yeah, I know.
Like I said, we having some conversations about that. He's
he just gotta pay his dues. He pays dues. He can do whatever, man.
That's it. He just gotta pay his dues.
Like
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on, and continue to have a great show. I'm gonna be watching. So
appreciate it.
No doubt.
All right. Yes, sir. It's my boy Dave. Oh, Dave's Doghouse. You ain't gonna shout out?
No. Oh, yes. Why would I? How could I forget that? I just had 2 episodes that just happened over the past week. So make sure you go to Dave's Doghouse on YouTube and subscribe to that channel. You're not gonna get this content nowhere else. There's no other channel that talks about highlights and lowlights of anywhere in sports other than my show. So you want us to know what's going on as far as who's playing well and who's not, or who's doing well and who's not. Look at Dave's Doghouse. We're up to 188 subscribers right now, 12 away from 200. Just get your boy there. Just get your boy
Yeah,
there.
man. Get us to
Got
200.
another episode that's going to drop tomorrow. So look out for me going live tomorrow. More likely to be like around maybe 12 or 1 o'clock. So watch out for Dave's Doghouse tomorrow. We got Game 7 tonight with the Detroit Pistons and the
Okay, here you
Cavaliers.
go.
So just know somebody in
Yeah.
that game is going to be talking.
Just had to bring my nerves back up.
Somebody in
Probably
that
have
game
a
will be
heart
talking.
attack.
Don't know who, but somebody will. So, like I said, appreciate you again. Subscribe to CTC if you haven't already, and subscribe to Dave's Doghouse.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Dave.
Y'all have a good
All
one.
right.
Man.
Yes, sir. So
Bro.
we got what, about 6 teams left. We're going to
Something
go
like that.
back to NC State. NC State, this one I almost got perfectly correct. I got one game wrong in this season. The only game I got wrong in the NC State season was the Florida State game. I had them losing to Florida State day one. If I predict that as a win, I would have perfectly predicted NC State to go 7-5, 4-4. I had one 6-6, 3-5. I did get the under 6.5 win total incorrect by the hook. But man, I think this was a successful season for NC State in spite of just going 7-5. You lost Justin Jolie for most of the year. CJ Bailey gained a ton of experience, looking to have a great junior year. And then you also got your younger receivers that were like freshmen and sophomore, a ton of game experience, not only just experience, but with CJ Bailey, and you were able to retain CJ Bailey. So I think this is a great year. Hollywood Smothers returns for NC State as well this next season. And not only that, you beat the crap out of Memphis in the Gasparilla Bowl 31-7. That game wasn't even close. So ultimately, great season for NC State. Great season for CJ Bailey. Now, I will say they kind of was Cal-esque in terms of sometimes not finishing games how you want. ECU, the first game of the year, was a blowout at first, but ECU battled back to not only almost tie it up, but they could have potentially went for the 2 and won it. UVA, close game. They pulled away late. So even Florida State, that game ended up being kind of close. Wake Forest, they started off bad against Wake Forest before they pulled away. So good season, good way to be battle tested. I'm very excited for NC State next season. Go ahead, Ace, talk to me about NC State.
Yeah, I agree. I think NC State had a very good season. I think it was up and down at certain points for sure, but one thing, they solidified that CJ Bailey is definitely their guy. They solidified that with him, Hollywood Smothers, all they have to do going forward is add a couple weapons in the portal.
Which they did.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe that offense will be a lot better than it was last year. Not saying that it was bad, because it definitely wasn't. CJ Bailey definitely had his days. Like, he was liable to put up 300, depending on who you are. I think more of the issue with them last year was like kind of the defense. Even though as the year progressed, they were kind of better at producing turnovers and stuff like that, and giving him some shorter fields to work with. Who was their tight end? I think
Jolie.
he was pretty good. Yeah, Justin Jolie. I think I don't know if he's gone or not, but
he is.
I think.
Okay,
well,
where'd he go? Not mine, because I was about to say I think he went to the Eagles, but that was not him. But he's right. Gone.
But yeah, but either way, I had NC State going 8-4, which I was off by 1, 5-3 in the ACC. Some they went 4-4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wasn't too far off. And honestly, I could have got this if it wasn't for maybe a player or two here and there. They dominated North Carolina, which I'm sure they enjoyed very much. I think they had, if it wasn't for Duke winning the ACC, they probably could have established themselves as the best team in North Carolina. Well, they did lose to Duke too, so I guess
I'm about
not.
to say Duke
But
beat every school
yeah,
in North
Duke
Carolina.
about
That's
to
tough to do.
say, yeah, I'm about to say, and Duke probably. I think they beat them by double digits actually. But well, shoot, Duke ain't got Derek Minson no more, so
Yeah.
you know, going forward, it's kind of open. It's theirs to take. We'll
Yeah,
see what they
I would
can
say the
do.
state of North Carolina is definitely theirs for the taking. Wake Forest might be a sleeper for that as well. But
Oh yeah,
yeah, Justin
but
Jolie went to the Broncos, which is tough.
yeah, that's sweet.
But
Nice little Sean Payton offense needs a good tight end.
he might start.
I can believe that.
Yeah, he might start.
I can
But
believe that.
yeah,
I can't think of who the Broncos tight end is right now off
it
the
was
top of my head.
bro from Ole Miss who's been disappointing most people, including myself. Evan Ingram, but I think he was on a 1 year deal.
Evan Ingram was supposed to be
That's what I'm
little
saying.
Eric Ebron-ish.
That's what I'm saying. Like he been disappointing.
Yeah, that's facts. But yeah, I'm not mad at them. I would like to see how Bailey and JoJo Trader do this year. If they still had that connection from high school.
Yeah,
That's going
I
to be
didn't even know
very
they played
interesting to
together.
see.
But
It was him, just Jeremiah Smith, and JoJo
that's
Trader.
tough. That is
Bruh,
insane.
Shamanov like that, boy.
Bro, if I
Shamanov was
gotta
going
come out of
crazy.
algebra and play them, bro, like,
Bruh, I'm telling you, like, do you ever just sit and watch you should go on YouTube and just like watch recaps of those Florida games, like them Jones they be doing on ESPN and all that stuff, bruh. They be balling, cause I'm telling you, and like the 707 Jones, like
I do be seeing the
it's so
707.
tough, bruh. Bro, I done seen like over the past year, I done seen so many old Malachi Tony Jones like from 12U and all this. I'm like, bro, he was been supposed to be that.
I
Like he
actually saw some of his stuff, but, bro, CJ Bailey's, Jeremiah Smith, and
and JoJo Trader, like I mean, yeah, JoJo Trader, bro.
my,
That's serious. That's some serious stuff to be playing in high school. That's not even
yeah,
fair.
CJ Bailey and Jeremiah Smith alone is
Yeah,
ridiculous.
you got these two 6'4" high school students with this kind
Super
of connection.
athletes.
Yeah, it's like, come on now.
Yeah.
How can you do
But
that?
we'll move on to Pitt and my boy Pat Narduzzi. And I'm not gonna lie, he outperformed me by one game. I didn't do a bad job of predicting Pitt this year.
I did.
Normally, I'm about to say normally it's always the opposite with Pitt. I think I even brought that up in the preview. Like I always predict Pitt one way, just like the backyard brawl, which I think they should have won this year and blew. But I think I'm normally like all the way wrong with Pitt, except for this season. This past offseason, I had Pitt going 7-5, 4-4, taking the over 6.5 wins. They went 8-4, 6-2. So not wrong there. I'm gonna say this off rip. I know I'm not supposed to be talking about the postseason before the regular season. If you catch me picking Pitt in a bowl game, slap me. I'm never picking Pitt in a bowl game ever again, bro. I tried to be like, you know what? Let the past be the past.
It's just East Carolina, bro. Don't worry.
It wasn't even that. I'm like, all right, cool. They lost to Toledo, but they started like that fourth string quarterback at one point. They didn't, Eli didn't play. Desmond Reed did play, but like I don't think Kanata Mumfield played. Like, cool. And they were very competitive. No, he sucks at bowl game. He can't win a bowl game. Mm-hmm. So I'm not. Look, I'm not picking Pitt in the bowl game. Watch next year they win their bowl game if they make it. But anyway,
they probably will. Listen, you just putting the battery in Pat Narduzzi back. When he least expect it, that's when you're gonna come up. Well, actually, maybe not though. Like, bruh's. I just looked up his bowl record. Maybe not on that.
Dog.
He's 2-6.
Bro, I tried. Like I said, I tried to let the past be the past, but no, I just can't ignore it no more.
Nah, he ain't won one since 2022, and before that was 2019.
Yeah,
so, nah. He's been there for 10 years, bro.
Man can't win a bowl game, bro.
It's. Well, he didn't always make them, though.
I mean, he missed 2 years. He's 2-6 in 10 years.
Just 2 years. Yeah, he only missed it 2 years.
Yeah. Can't win them.
Yeah. It's ugly. But I mean, this the thing though about Pitt, like you said, they always do what you don't expect them to do. Or they'll start off hot and just end so cold, or start so cold and end hot. I don't know what it is about that. That's something It's got to be a coaching thing.
Well, this year I think
Because
they were fraudulent. To be honest with you, I even said that to you. I thought Pitt was
you
fraudulent
did,
throughout the
you
season.
did.
So
You say you said that early in the season too.
yeah, I thought Pitt was fraudulent, but I had them beating Duquesne. They won. I had them beating Central Michigan. They won. I had them winning the backyard brawl. They lost. So that means I'm probably going to bet it. I'm going to pick them to win the backyard brawl again. I always switched it. I think I'm gonna stay with Pitt this year and see how that works out for your boy. But
I
anyway,
mean, I don't think anybody thought West Virginia was somebody to be scared of anyway.
no, because they had quarterback problems. I don't even know if we knew really who was the starting quarterback at the beginning of the year. No, I lied. They was going with Nico, right? Nico Merchel, and he just didn't perform.
I think so because there definitely
Yeah,
was a switch at some point during the
they
season.
switched like 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a super switch. But I had them losing to Louisville. They lost. That was a game that they should have won. They allowed Louisville to come back and win that game. I remember they was up early on Louisville. Kyle Louis, I think, had like a pick 6 in that game. They lost to Florida. No, I had them losing to Florida State. They won. I had them beating Boston College. They won. Flip it because I just said it in reverse order. I had them beating Boston College after Louisville. They won. I had them losing to Florida State. They won. I had them losing to Syracuse. They won. I had them beating NC State. They won. Had them winning against Stanford. They won. I had them losing to Notre Dame. They lost. I had them losing to Georgia Tech. They won. Had them. Oh yeah, that's right. I don't know why I picked them to beat y'all, but they lost. Again, I had them going 7-5, 4-4. They went 8-4, 6-2. I had 7 games right, 5 games wrong. They lost the Go Bowling Bowl 23-17 to ECU, a game where every time they got some momentum, they threw the momentum away. They went and scored a touchdown. I believe they gave up a kickoff return like right after it. Went and scored again, gave up a deep bomb to Anthony Smith. Like, dog, they just did not want to win the game. I don't know what it was. But go ahead and talk to me about Pitt.
Yeah, so I had Pitt going 4-8 last year, 1-7 in the ACC, and I had them being so bad just because I thought they didn't have really any depth. I'm not a crazy fan of Eli Holstein, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of looked at that team as like, all right.
I mean, he lost his job.
Yeah,
he did
but
lose his job.
and to a freshman at that. To a freshman, which makes it worse. But I mean, I think that freshman definitely gave them a lot of juice, though. And when he came in, it did seem like some things were changing. However, he you know who he reminds me of?
Who, the freshman or Eli?
The freshman. You might already think of who I'm gonna say. Because I've compared somebody to him before.
I'm lost. Go ahead.
Calandria. Another
gunslinger. My boy.
Yeah. He reminds me of Calandria. Just another young gunslinger.
Yeah.
You're like, man, I'm a Brett Favre it out and see what happens. And
Speaking of Calandria,
it worked out. UNLV, right? That's where you ended up.
Yeah, and then he told UNLV, I'm not transferring again. I love it here. The transfer portal was a tough process and ended up transferring to Nebraska.
Hey man, people want to play big boy ball, man. I don't know if
it worked out because what's it? Raiola left.
Yeah, Raiola left. Yeah, I'm about to get off topic, but we can talk about Raiola later.
He'll be talking about next episode.
Yeah, but overall, I just thought Pitt, defense just wasn't great. You know, they weren't finishing well. Quarterback issues. I think they had a lot of injuries too at certain points during the season. Just wasn't.
Up getting hurt, didn't he?
I want to say so. But really, I think once that Notre Dame game happened, it was just like, all right, bro. Like because they beat on them and they beat on them early. You know what I mean? So it was just like, all right. I think that's when he lost the team, and then after that, when we came into town, they knew that we was going to try to run it up, and they just.
Shout out to them though for recovering against Georgia Tech, but I feel like that was more of a Georgia Tech loss than a Pitt win.
Yeah, because 42-28. Pitt isn't 2 touchdowns better than Georgia Tech at all. If anything, I'd put more money on Georgia Tech being 2 touchdowns better than them.
Literally, that was the spread, not.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But overall, though, like, respect to Pat Narduzzi, though, because he is a guy every couple of years. He gonna build him up. Like, you know what I mean? He'll build him up, and 2-3 years down the line with the draft class, he'll have those boys ready to perform in some big time moments, but it just never comes quite together all the way. Who knows
Yeah.
how much longer he's going to be there?
No,
Definitely can't have
I
another
think
one of those.
I think he kind of solidified. Because I mean, not for nothing, he did make a New Year's Six Bowl at Pitt. They lost to us,
I mean,
but he did make it with
but
and the ACC championship game. I think they won the ACC championship with Kenny Pickett.
yeah,
Kenny
they
Pickett and
did.
Jordan
They
Addison.
did. Yeah,
Yep.
that fake slide.
That was intense. First of all, how do you even pull that off in college? Once you touch the ground, you're down.
But he didn't. He kind of like fake just. And then he slid, but his shin or nothing never hit the ground.
Yeah,
He
that is insane.
he just drug his foot and then picked
Yeah,
it back up
yeah,
and
I
started
remember
running.
that. Yeah,
Well, you
that
can't
was
do that
insane.
no more because they changed.
Yeah,
the
they
rule
literally because of that they banned it.
Yeah, and
Because I mean,
that
if somebody would have knocked
that
his
one
block
move
off,
set Pittsburgh back 3 years, but
yeah.
whatever.
Because if somebody would have knocked his block off, y'all have been crying like he slid, that's a flag.
No facts. No, he really should have because Cuz did let up.
He let up.
Did let up. He should have knocked. I ain't gonna stand the Kenny Pickett because.
Shout out Kenny Pickett.
Anyway. Anyway, man.
This ain't the show for that.
Yeah, say the time.
But I'm gonna say this before we move on. I ain't gonna lie. The reason why I was a little higher on Pitt was because of Desmond Reed. To be completely honest with you, Desmond Reed the year before had an amazing season, and I can't not give Eli Holstein some credit as to why I thought Pitt was going to do well because he came in. Funny enough, for I'm blanking on dude name that started the year, and he actually did solid. Dang, who was their starting quarterback before Eli Holstein?
Desmond Reed definitely got hurt though, right?
I believe so, if I'm not mistaken.
He had to have gotten hurt because I'm looking at his numbers. I'm like,
yeah, I'm pretty sure he did.
There's no way he played that whole.
Dog, I can't remember their quarterback in 2024, 25.
Oh, he got picked up by the Bills too.
Yeah, shout out Desmond Reed. Yeah, he had to leave. Who was their quarterback? Because Eli Holstein didn't come in the start of that year. Actually, came out of nowhere.
2024 season.
Yeah, the year before, not the year that just passed, but the year before that one. I can't think of Brian's name. I'm on a roster now, but why am I blanking on?
Maybe it was Eli.
I don't think it was because Eli came from Alabama. I don't think he started. I think he took over from
but it was 2 years ago, right? Like he came in 24 or 23.
24. It was his freshman year. No, it was 24. I was about to say it was his freshman year. I could be wrong about that. But I don't see nobody else, so maybe it was him.
Yeah,
I could have sworn he took over for somebody. But maybe I'm wrong. But either way.
Even that year was more akin to what I thought they would have happened in this instead of this year.
Yeah, either way though, I mean he lost his job, so it is what it is. But we'll move forward. We'll move forward to SMU. SMU, man. SMU had another I would call it a successful season. Could have had an ACC championship experience appearance.
Repeat.
Blew the game against Cal. They went 8-4, 6-2. I had them going 10-2, 7-1. The only ACC loss I had for them was Clemson, which they won. The other game I had them losing was TCU, which they lost. So I predicted 8 games right, 4 games wrong. The 4 games I had them predicted wrong. The Baylor game. They absolutely collapsed at the end of that Baylor game. They were up 2 scores in the fourth quarter and collapsed, and Baylor kicked the field goal to win that one. TCU pretty much, in my opinion, dominated that game. Nice little back and forth, but then TCU pulled away late. But I felt like TCU, if you watch the game, to me, dominated. It just ended up going back and forth. The other game, Wake Forest, that game was terrible for SMU. I don't know if you remember the SMU Wake Forest game, but SMU basically gave them that game too. They
very low scoring.
Yeah, it was like 13-12, and they fumbled like a punt return, and late game ended up I think they ended up punting out the back of the end zone and gave up a big play to allow Wake Forest to kick the game.
I do remember that because they looked way sharper the next week versus
yeah. That game was terrible. And then the last game of the season, again, SMU late game goes up, but then give up a touchdown to go down, and then they miss a field goal to tie it after a big play by, I believe, Matthew Hipner to get them in quote unquote field goal range was probably as close as possible. I do feel like there was some clock mismanagement on the part of SMU towards the end of the game as well. But yeah, if they could have the Cal game back and the Wake Forest game back, they would definitely take those two back. But 8-4, 6-2, solid. They were in contention for ACC championship appearance, but they would have went 7-1. If you just finished the game against Cal. They did win the Holiday Bowl 24-19 versus Arizona, which Arizona was no slouch of a school last year, so that was a good bowl game. But Rhett Lashley, man, I'm gonna change my good season to solid because a good season would have been to make good on your where you were and make the ACC championship game, which they did not. So I'm gonna change it to a solid season. Kevin Jennings being back, man, I didn't know if he was a freshman or not, but dog, this is what they third year in the ACC, and he was there when they won the American. Because remember, he came in for Preston Stone in the AAC championship game because Preston Stone, I believe, got hurt and beat Tulane in the American Conference championship game.
You're right. He's gonna be a senior this year.
Yeah, so that must have been his freshman year. So
yeah, I think he might have redshirt or something.
Maybe
I would think.
Maybe, but
I thought he was a redshirt freshman when he came in for Preston.
Maybe I don't know.
I do remember that.
Yeah, but I don't know. That. But he's been there for a long time. Been there for a long time. So shout out to him though. Definitely he's been balling at the collegiate level for sure. Mm-hmm. And I think he's getting better as a passer. So
he's that's
solid. Good for him.
He's definitely one of those dudes. If you think he's not gonna get off, that's when he's gonna get off.
Yeah, facts. Shoot. He gonna have his work cut out for him though, because he's losing some weapons next season. But ultimately, I think it was a solid season. I just think SMU defense wasn't as good as it was projected to be, which SMU kind of normally doesn't have a defense, but they had some pieces coming back to make you think like, all right, they might have a solid defense, and it just was not good. Also, I want to say Chris Johnson and TJ Harden was a solid backfield. Chris Johnson Jr.
Yeah, no doubt. I agree with it, basically everything you just said. I think SMU was going to be projected to be a pretty good team. I think that there were some opportunities left on the table to pick up the momentum from the year previous. Like you said, Kevin Jennings balled out. Chris Johnson Jr., I think he was a little. I feel like he might have left some things on the table, which is why he probably transferred. Which is why he transferred out. I think he's at Clemson.
He did transfer. Yeah, I forgot where he went.
I want to say Clemson.
I got you.
But TJ Harden was definitely good. Jordan Hudson was nice on the outside. Romello Brinson. I think the main difference between the year before last and the SMU team last year is definitely that front seven, because they lost a lot of that elite talent that was getting home on a lot of those rushes and helping them create the turnovers the year before. And that kind of changed a bit. Mm-hmm. But beyond that, they were still opportunistic. They were still pretty aggressive as a defense as a whole. I think their secondary was really where they took another step forward. Like the front seven may have regressed a bit because of the talent, but the secondary was still really good, arguably better technique-wise and everything. So, I think like you said, I think it's a solid year for Rhett Lashley out there. I think that he definitely has a good thing going with the program, and he is he's making his stamp on probably definitely being one of their better coaches in their history.
For sure.
If not the best already.
All right,
two things. I really like Rhett Lashley.
Two things. One, the quarterback I was thinking about was Nate Yarnell. That's who was the starting quarterback.
Nate Yarnell.
Yeah, he was terrible.
Nasty name, Paul.
Yeah. Well, I Googled it. I was getting so pissed I Googled it. But secondly, you're right. He did transfer to Clemson. Got a question here. Who do you guys think are the impact freshmen on both defense and offense this year in terms of making the same impact that you saw Malachi Tony make for the Canes last year? Wrong show. Appreciate the question, but this is a review of last year. We definitely do previews, so stick around and keep that question in mind, because right now we haven't dug into like rosters or anything for next year, but we do previews in like July and August. So definitely stick around and we'll have an answer for your question. But right now, we're just reviewing everything that we talked about in the preview. But we do. Go ahead.
But I can give you a quick answer. I'll just tell you a name that I think you will have to keep your ears out for, because he's somebody who will be making a lot more plays. Joshua Moore.
And this is a Miami fan, so shout out to Ace for being here. So I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm not really tapped into college football for the next year like that. Not until preview
Yeah,
season.
not only if it's only if it's somebody I like.
Yeah, but definitely shout out to you.
Oh yeah,
and
man!
appreciate you for subscribing.
Appreciate that.
Definitely appreciate that. We're gonna move on from SMU. We're gonna talk about Stanford. And if I'm not remembering, didn't Frank Reich like get fired in the middle of his one and only season at Stanford?
He did.
So he got a 1-year contract to be a coach, and they was like, "Nah, we don't even like this 1 year. Go ahead, bro."
Nah, buddy, you gotta do something more.
But Stanford, man, I got a lot of flack in the comments about the Stanford segment.
They did better than we thought.
Hawaii. They did, but they lost to Hawaii game 1. Now, granted, Hawaii ended up being a solid team. Mike Alejado, 21-year-old freshman, still don't understand how that works. He's legit a freshman too. He's 21 years old, but he's nice. Bro can throw the ball. But I had Stanford going 2-10, 0-8. They went 4-8, 3-5 in conference play. They actually did better in conference than in the non-con. I had them beating Hawaii, which they lost. I had them losing to BYU, which they lost. I had them losing to Boston College, they won. I had them losing to Virginia, they lost. I had them beating San Jose State, which they won. I had them losing to SMU, they lost. I had them losing to Florida State, they won. I had them losing to Miami, they lost. I had them losing to Pitt, UNC, Cal, and Notre Dame. The only one that they won was the Cal game and the rivalry game. I think their rivalry is the Battle of the Bricks, if I'm not mistaken. But no, Battle of the Brick is Ohio, Miami of Ohio. I forgot what theirs is. I think it's something to do with like abacus or something like that. I'll look it up in the end. But
sounds right. Nerdy enough.
But yeah, I had them going under 3.5 wins. They actually went over by the hook. I would actually say 4-8, 3-5 is a successful season for Stanford in the ACC. I can't lie. It's not a successful season for most teams, but for Stanford, I would say this is a dub. To be honest, now that's because the bar is the floor, but can they build on this? We'll see. But I'm not going to really speak too much on Stanford in terms of totality of an actual program because they weren't that good. But in terms of Stanford of late, this is a W. They had a better record than the past 2 seasons. Well, not past 2 seasons, excuse me, than last year. I don't know what they did 2 years ago. I can't remember off top. I want to say they were 4-8 or 5-7.
Nah, no doubt. Well, I had them with the same record, 2-10, 0-8 in the ACC play. So yes, their record of 4-8. What was it in the ACC?
3-5.
3-5. That actually is solid. Like it's a good season. You know, it's better than what we thought you were going to do. And you know, I mean, look, there aren't many people who you can really talk about on this team except maybe the CJ Williams, their wide receiver, who was really their best player and basically their only weapon. And he's the guy who came from other Power 5 conferences. I want to say he came from Wisconsin or something like that.
They had a tight end too, Sam Rouse.
His name don't even ring a bell, honestly. Let me look at it.
Oh yeah, Michael Floyd did all right.
4.5, 5'5". Yeah. I mean, they had some people here and there, but let's be real. Like this team was never supposed to come into this conference and have any success. They got them going cross country, and who knows how many times of the year. Like it's pretty crazy. I mean, I think the only good thing Stanford did was get rid of David Bailey, and that was good.
Yeah, shout out to them for that, letting them go ahead and ball at Texas Tech.
Yeah, you know. But other than that, now do I see them growing from here? Sure. I mean, they always have a couple players. I mean, they had Eric Ayomayer. Yeah. Like they have people here and there. Now this isn't the Stanford from when they had Toby Gerhardt and Christian
Stephon Taylor.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Stephon Taylor. I forgot about that name. But what was the other one?
Christian McCaffrey. Then they had Ty Montgomery. Ty Montgomery. They had Cody Whitfield. Cody Whitfield still to me probably has one of the best college catches I've seen in my life.
Remember Toby Gerhardt?
Toby Gerhardt, yep, for sure.
Yeah, man. They got, but this isn't that Stanford. They need to get the smart. They need to get the people like Cooper Barkate to go there. You know
you don't even know why I'm laughing, bro. You want to hear something funny?
Yeah, please.
Stanford from 2021 to 2025 went 3-9.
3-9.
Yes, literally. No, 2024. Excuse me. And I'm not even done. Well, 2020 was, the vid. That was the best year. They went 4-2. 19, they went
4-2.
4-8.
4-2 playing against co-eds.
Yep, bruh. They have literally last year has been their best record since the vid. Other than that, they have always finished 3-9.
Well, we know what to rank them next year in the preview.
But that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, dog, this is their best year in 5 years, and it's 4-8. That's why I said this is really good for Stanford.
Yeah, it is a step in the right direction. It might be half a step, but a step nonetheless.
And Stanford's rivalry is
1% better, bro. Well, it's all about being 1% better.
Yeah, they battle for the axe. It's called the big game. I'm gonna need them to change.
That's Stanford and Cal, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna need them to change the big game because this game ain't big.
Yeah, it's not a big game. This is not a big game at all.
But yeah,
I dare say nobody cares. Will it be on TV?
It was on TV last year. Mendoza won it when he was at Cal.
I mean, yeah, but who's staying up to 10:30 to watch that?
I feel attacked because I watched it. I am.
Well, you're invested.
What I'm talking about. I definitely feel attacked.
So I am him. He is I and I am him.
I can't say what I wanted to say, but
yeah, they gotta pay extra for the profanity. Sorry.
Yeah, nah, we get on that. But man, I'm definitely the people that you are talking about. But that's why I said the bar is the floor with Stanford. That's why I said it's one of the best years that they had. So I wasn't wrong.
Well, shoot, we really about to get to where the bar is the floor.
Oh God, I feel so bad for my dog too. But now I'm actually starting.
Honestly, I don't feel bad for him no more. I don't feel bad.
I was just about to say I'm starting to see why the criticisms are becoming what they are. To be completely honest with you,
He's kind of goofy.
We're talking about Fran Brown and Syracuse. Fran Brown, first year at Syracuse, ridiculously great. Had Cal McCord looking, whew, man. This year, complete opposite. Now, I didn't have crazy expectations for Syracuse. I expect them to go 6-6, 4-4, just being bowl eligible. I'm like, okay, he lost a lot. We seen that. He lost Trevor Pena. Trevor Pena played stupid games, won stupid prizes, went to Penn State, had a horrible year.
Dumbest.
Cal McCord graduated. My boy, I told people about him. Arundé Gaston went to the league, had a great rookie year. They lost a lot. And I honestly didn't know what they were. Yeah, I didn't know what they were going to do at quarterback. I mean, they brought in, what was it, Ricky Collins, I think his name was, and Steve Angeli. Steve Angeli ended up winning the job, but then he got hurt, and he was out for the year, and Syracuse.
And that derailed everything.
Yeah. Dude, I see why Steve Angeli won the job because it was terrible quarterback play after that.
He didn't have to try hard.
No, he really didn't.
Because they started off 3-1, right? Like it was looking good. They beat Clemson on the road. They
started off 2-2, but I mean, it didn't look good. They got spanked by Tennessee first game of the year. I don't know why people thought that was like a game to highlight. Game sucked. I didn't give Syracuse a chance in that. I also thought Tennessee was very fraudulent last year as well. I said that a ton, but
for sure
they beat UConn. Shouldn't have won that game in overtime. Skylar Bell almost gamed them. Was it overtime? Might not have been overtime. No, it was overtime because Skylar Bell made a crazy catch to force overtime, I believe. But they remember that's the game when Syracuse won. They won sprint. They ran sprints after the game because that's how bad they played.
Yeah.
So they won that. Then they beat Colgate. So I had them winning. I had them losing to Clemson. Funny again, that's the shocker of the year. They beat Clemson. Had them beating Duke. They lost. Had them losing to LSMU. They lost. I had them beating Pitt. They lost. They ended up losing out, I think, from Clemson on down because they went 3-9. Yeah, after the Clemson game, they lost out. They went 3-9, 1-7. Yeah.
Notre Dame put up the 70 ball on them. That was nasty.
Yeah.
That when they did that, I was like, oh, damn, they really might try to get us out this playoff.
It was bad. Syracuse had a terrible year, dog. It was way worse than we thought.
Horrible. It was horrible.
It's probably one of the worst.
And it only got worse. worse.
The offseason, even
Duke
bad for Syracuse.
SMU, but oh my gosh, you saw what happened with the recruit that they had?
Calvin Russell when he was on the he on the boot catching passes on the scooter.
It's like, bro, why are you doing that? It's like, the optics of this look crazy. Like, you look like an irresponsible coach doing that, bro. Like, you
Bro,
talking about,
and
yeah,
you have so much against you. The 2C situation, people already think that you
the
quarantined.
2C situation is crazy. It's crazy. But then also, you remember, doesn't Calvin Russell play basketball too? It's like, come on,
I
bro.
don't know
Like
if he
you,
does.
I'm pretty sure I seen him playing basketball, or I seen him on the bench. Like he practices with that basketball team. I know for a fact.
I've heard that. Oh, actually, matter of fact, I don't know why I said that because I thought allegedly that's how he got the Achilles injury playing basketball. Am I wrong?
That would be even worse. I don't know if I heard
I
that.
don't think
I
it was
didn't.
at Syracuse though. I don't think he got it I think he got it like previous or something. I could be wrong. That's why I
I
said
don't know
allegedly.
how. I don't know how he injured himself, but all I do know is I saw him on a scooter, and for
Yeah,
him and Fran Brown doing some kind of exercise. I was like, bro, this
yeah,
dude's a clown, man.
yeah. I'm about
This
to say a
dude's a
lot of people
clown.
are calling him goofy, and I was a Frank Brown supporter, and I'm not gonna say was because I still am, but I can see the other side now, 100%.
Yeah,
I'll say that.
I am, but he's a little bit too much for the shenanigans in my
Yeah,
opinion. I'm not gonna
I
lie.
can definitely see the other side for sure. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say,
Yeah.
bro. Terrible
Yeah, the
season,
cat do be talking, man. I'm sorry. She's very vocal.
very terrible season. Um, I don't know what to expect for next year, like I said, because we're in our off season talking about last year, and I don't even remember Syracuse doing a good job attacking the portal or anything. But
I
go
don't
ahead,
think they
Ace.
did. I don't think they did. Yeah, I had Syracuse going 5-7, 3-5. I
Shout
had
out
them
to
going
Cat.
5-7, 3-5, and yeah, man. I think it was just a season that just collapsed after that Clemson
Clemson game.
game. As you can see, like, and I think that really just because of the quarterback situation. Once he went down, it was like, they kind of not gave up, but I mean, even their defense. I mean, they were giving up close to 35 points a game, man. It's like you can't do that at this level of football, especially with the way that you talk to the media. Not that he talks to the media, but the way that he talks in the media,
Yeah,
the way that he portrays this cool, calm, collective, like. Well, even though I do agree with him on certain things, like, yeah, you are helping men first and this, that, and the third, and you're helping them with their lives. Cool. That is absolutely the way a coach should approach his job because it's 100% the truth. However, we cannot neglect the fact that you're here to win games, my boy.
facts.
And you're also here to make it look a certain way too. Like you can't deny the optics of what you're doing with Calvin Russell because I guarantee if this kid doesn't play next year or he gets hurt or anything, oh bro, they on your head. Then you
Yeah,
entertaining even though all these things have nothing to do with the season. I think it just further puts
it's a
into
distraction.
yeah, it puts in perspective what went wrong with the season.
Yeah, it gives people a way to kind of attack your program, and you
Yeah.
kind of don't want to give people ammunition.
Definitely when you're not already not a football school, you know.
Yeah, that too. Shout out
It's like
Syracuse, by the way.
you already got half a leash.
Yeah, I think they basketball team might turn up with they coaching hire. But man, I hate it for him, but he kind of brought some of it on himself. So
Yeah,
I'm rooting for him. I hope he does well. I hope he can kind of regain that spark of his first year at Syracuse. We'll see, because I mean, last time, I mean, his first year, a lot of people, including myself, didn't expect much, and then
Mm-mm.
boom, 10 wins. So hopefully he
Yeah.
can regain that spark. So, but we'll
I don't
move
know.
on.
I think Kyle McCord had a lot to do with that, and
I do too.
I
But I
don't think we
mean,
need another one of those.
but that's what I was about to say. I think you can find another Kyle McCord because Kyle McCord with Jeremiah Smith and Marvin Harrison Jr. was
Oh yeah, that's true. That's
not that great
that's
in
true.
terms
But
of
but I don't know. I don't know if that's. I feel like Kyle McCord at Ohio State suffered a lot because of the system, not always because of
that could
his
be a thing. I
talent
can definitely, yeah,
necessarily.
I can definitely see that.
But you're right though. Like there's definitely going to be another kid with a Ohio State type ceiling who's going to go
Yeah,
to a big program, not necessarily get the time that he wants, and then transfer that.
exactly.
I think that's the appeal of being in those kind of mid-tier Power Five conference schools now, because you can get those kids who can come in and
Hmm.
they can be great for you, and they would be a bench player somewhere else
Yep.
at a more prestigious team.
Yep, exactly. I
Hopefully, he
think
can
they can
leverage
find another
that.
Kyle McCord. I think he can. But we're going to
Yeah.
move on to What did I just do? We're gonna move on to Virginia Tech. I think I accidentally okay. Now, for those who are wondering, if you're new, just tuning in, why we skipped Virginia, Dave left, but before he left, we allowed him to get his trash talking in about Virginia. So that's why we're skipping Virginia. We already talked about it in the previous in this episode. So if you miss it and you want to hear about it, which I mean, me and Ace would like you not to hear about it, go
Yeah,
back in
please
the
don't make us
episode.
relive that.
Go back in the episode. But we're going to go to Virginia Tech. And Virginia Tech actually did worse than what I thought. I came on here and vehemently said I'm not going to believe in Kyron Jones like I tried to the years past. I'm sticking with my gut about Kyron Jones. They went 3-9, 2-6. I had them going 6-6 and 4-4, at least making a bowl game. And they did not even do that. Ended up firing Coach Pry. Was it mid-season? I want to say it was towards the end of the season.
Mid-season.
Ended up firing.
Nah, it was early. It was early.
Okay. They ended up firing him. I'm gonna have an episode later talking about the new hire James Franklin in my coaching carousel episode later on down the line. But yeah, it was just a bad season. This is another thing I didn't understand about Virginia Tech. You get Terrion Stewart, great running back from Bowling Green, who he ended up leaving Bowling Green when Eddie George came to coach. You don't play him, and then
he wasn't even the
he gets played, and he starts cooking. Like, you just had that on your bench. I didn't get why they weren't playing Terrion Stewart, but yeah, terrible season. I had them losing to us to start the game. Start the season, they lost. I had them losing to Vandy to start the year, they lost. I had them losing to Old Dominion. Shout out Old Dominion, very good program in the group of 5. They won. Old Dominion beat Virginia Tech. Had them beating Wofford, they won. I had them beating NC State, they won. I had them beating Wake Forest, they lost. I had them losing to Georgia Tech, they lost. I had them beating Cal, they won. That was the game where they just kept running that option play with Kyron Jones to death against Cal. That was at Blacksburg late at night. I had them losing to Louisville, Florida State, and Miami, which they all lost. And I had them beating Virginia to end the year, and they lost. I had 9 games right, 3 games wrong, but the under 6.5 was correct in my pick. Ace, talk to me about Virginia Tech.
Yeah, man. Basically, a very underwhelming season. They underperformed at a massive rate compared to what people thought that they could be. I think when people saw Kyron Jones, we think of Kyron Jones from his sophomore season, his first year at Virginia Tech, where he played solid, man. The kid threw for like 2,000 yards. I think it was like 17 touchdowns or something like that. I could be gassing it, but it wasn't that many picks either. But not to say that he was like, oh, he was such a great passer, this and the third, but he had the athletic ability, he had the build, he just looks good on the field. And you would think like, all right, that guy's behind the center, he can make something happen for him. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. And I think that there were some definite talent gaps in certain areas on this team, particularly on the line, particularly the defense, as you just spoke to, the running back situation. They weren't putting their best guys on the field either. And I don't know if that's because the Coach Pride getting fired after the first few games of the season. I don't know if it's because, Philip Montgomery coming in and how he wanted to run the team, or what his position on the staff was before he became the interim head coach. But it was a epic underperformance. Probably the team that underperformed the highest of any of them that we previewed.
Nah, I still get at the Clemson.
Oh yeah,
still gotta give it to Clemson.
Forgot about them. But I had Virginia Tech going 7-5, 4-4. Obviously, they ended up being 3-9, 2-6. 3 wins is nasty work. Nasty with Wofford, Cal, and North Carolina State by 2 points. Which, anytime you've been by 2 points, you can argue you might not have been able to win.
It was nasty for sure.
Yeah,
nasty.
I think it is good that they're going to get a full revamping, and future's probably going to be a lot brighter than it has the past 2 years. So I'll say that.
Yeah, under James Franklin, I 100% agree. I'm gonna say one more thing. First of all, you are absolutely correct in Kyron Jones' sophomore year, 2,084 passing yards, 17 touchdowns, 3 picks, which is solid. I just wasn't a fan of Kyron Jones. I seen him come in Baylor in spots, just wasn't a fan. And his junior year, I kind of bought the hype a little bit, even though against my better judgment, and they didn't do as good as I projected. And I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that this year. And trusting my gut. I mean, I at least gave him a bowl game, which is crazy. They couldn't even make a bowl, but just like we said, it's a terrible year, very underwhelming. You can blame them losing both their cornerbacks in that as well, but the offense was underwhelming as well. Like losing Mansour Delaney and Dorian Strong was just
that hurts a lot. That
yeah,
hurts a lot.
but that wasn't the sole reason. It was just a lot.
Nah, definitely not. And I think, when you look at Cameron Jones, he suffered from a lot of things that college football, particularly it seems to be black college football quarterbacks, suffer from. We have this impression of them, and we think
Yeah,
that their athletic ability will be able to,
carry.
supplement for maybe the lack of arm talent or the lack of accuracy. In Cameron Jones' case, the lack of accuracy because he does have a pretty good arm, and it's just
Definitely.
like it just goes to show you how there are truly so many levels when it comes to football and playing to get to play at the highest level. Like, what I mean, Anthony Richardson got lucky. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm
Anthony
bro.
Richardson the same
Don't
kind
get
of
me
dude. You know
started on
what I
Anthony
mean?
Richardson,
Like,
dog.
there is a quarterback development problem in college football. Point blank. Period. These kids are not being afforded the opportunities to sit and learn. And now, granted, I understand that some of
Some of it
that
is
is
on them
because of
though.
them. Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure. So a lot of it is because of them. A lot of it is because of the coaches. Because
yeah. Some of them will
on
tell
either
you.
side,
Yeah,
there's not as much leniency to allow somebody to come in and learn. Like, imagine Peyton Manning came in now. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
If you're not starting right away, he's
Like,
out.
yeah, exactly. But he's going to come in, and Peyton Manning, his first couple years in college and in the pros,
Yeah,
like, he
shaky.
wasn't the greatest. Like, he didn't make all the best decisions. He had to grow into becoming the kind of passer that he
Very
was.
true.
And
Very
all these
true.
kids don't get that opportunity. That's why Bo Nix can come in to the league and ball out. That's why Tyler
Very
Shaw can
true.
look at least decent in the league
Nah,
because
hey,
these
Tyler
guys,
Shuck, he hooped with the Saints. I ain't even gonna lie,
yeah,
bro.
what I'm saying. Like, these guys have. Once you get to the point where you get like 20 starts under your belt, then you can really start evaluating the quarterback for who he is and how he reacts to certain situations because you've seen stuff before. And these kids just don't get the opportunity, man. That's why and I feel like I went on a tangent, but that's why I'm glad
No, it's fine.
Dante Moore went back. You know what I mean? I think he's
I
one of those people.
I agree. I agree. I wanted him
Listen.
to come
He
back
he
too.
he would have got paid. He would have got paid, no doubt. But I think for the long run, I mean, he's still
Yeah, I
about
think
to
he should
get
have
like
came
close
back.
to $10 million or 7 or wherever he getting from Oregon. You know what I mean? He's
Yeah, I
like,
agree.
we have to normalize letting these kids grow up a bit
True.
more.
Nah, I agree with you saying a lot, and a part of it I think is due to NIL kids saying, "Hey, if I can't start here, I'm gonna just go make my money and start somewhere else." Part of it
Mhm.
is coaches telling you, "Hey, you might want to leave. I got a guy coming in next year," and part of it is kind of how the microwave of college football is now. Like they want instant results, and coaches feel the
Yeah.
pressure of that, and they feel like if I don't give results within 2-3 years, I might get fired. So
Mhm.
they feel the pressure and not allowing a kid to grow and develop. So I definitely agree with what you're saying,
No
hundred
doubt.
percent. And
It
in
feels like it's like
communication,
that in like AAU too. Like the
yeah,
AAU is the same thing. Pop Warners, like all these youth things. They like it's like they turn into money grabs instead of
yeah,
what they were when we were growing up.
yeah, 100%. And I'm gonna say this last point in terms of Kyron Jones. I think a lot of the Kyron Jones thing came from, like you said, his ability athletically and his body type, like
Mhm.
his build. I think he had the physique
Yeah.
of a guy that they thought could dominate the collegiate level, but unfortunately, the accuracy is what held him back. But we'll move on to the last school in the ACC we have to review, which I know I did a terrible job. I actually did. I thought I was a little bit harder on Wake Forest than I actually was in the preseason. I think we both were pretty hard on them,
We
but
were.
I had Wake Forest going 4-8, 1-7, and I know there's a guy in my comments at the time that was going at me, and shout out to him. He was right.
He was. I
Um,
remember that.
um, but first of all, Robbie Ashford had a turnaround of a season, in my opinion. I did not expect him to be playing well. I watched him at South Carolina. He didn't do that great of a job, in my opinion. And I think he also was at Auburn, if I'm not mistaken. But him with the OC from South Alabama, they worked well together. Carlos Hernandez had a great year at the receiver spot. And I think
Mm-hmm.
Wake Forest defense was way better than I thought it would be. Wake Forest actually had a solid to pretty good defense this past season. They went 8-4, 4-4. So the under, I had under 4.5 wins. That was incorrect. They hit that by 3 games. They killed that over. They did win the Duke's Mayo Bowl against Mississippi State, 43-29. I will say that even though the score says it was only a 2-touchdown game, the Wake Forest felt like they won by more than 2 touchdowns. And then in that game, I think his name was Kamario Taylor, the quarterback. He ended up getting hurt for Mississippi State, which I hope he's okay. But I got 8 games right, 4 games wrong. I predicted them to beat Kennesaw State, which actually they ended up winning the Conference USA Championship. So shout out Kennesaw State. Western Carolina, I had them winning that game. I had them losing to NC State. They lost. I had them losing to Georgia Tech. They lost. I had them losing to Virginia Tech. They won. I had them losing to Oregon State. They won. I had them losing to SMU. They won. I had them losing to Florida State. They lost. I had them beating Virginia. They won. I had them losing to UNC. They lost. Had them beating Delaware. They won. And I had them losing to Duke, which they did lose. I will overall say this is a great season for Wake Forest. This is probably one of the better seasons since making the ACC championship under Sam Hartman, and was that 2020, I believe, or 2021 or something like that.
Around there.
Yeah. So this is
It
probably
was
one
the
of
year
the best
before
seasons.
he. It might have been 19 because it was before he left to go to.
What draft was
Notre Dame.
Pickett in? Pickett was in what, 20 draft or 21 draft?
Maybe 21.
Yeah, so it had to
21.
be 21 championship. It was the year that Pickett went to the draft.
Oh, you're right. You're right. They did play each other.
Yeah, they played each other. But I believe it's been the best year since that. So Jake Dickert killed it in year 1 at the program.
Mm-hmm.
I shouldn't be surprised because Jake Dickert did a great job turning around with Washington State, in my opinion, almost winning the Apple Cup a couple times at Washington State. So great season from him. If you're a Wake Forest fan and you want to clown me, hey man, that was the time to do it. I'm never ran from it. I'm not gonna start now. But shout out to y'all. Y'all had a great year. Ace.
Yeah, I would have to share your opinion on that if you guys want to clown us for thinking Wake Forest was going to be booty, because we definitely kind of thought that. We were very wrong. I had Wake Forest going 5-7, 3-5 at ACC play. Now, the only bright spot that I had for them was Damon Claiborne. I thought that
Yes.
he is a very solid running back. I thought that he would do his thing, almost 1,000 yards, 900 and something, if I'm not mistaken. I just saw it. Robbie Ashford. I did not expect Robbie Ashford to play decent football. Seen him at Auburn multiple times. I just was never very impressed. I thought that he was a good playmaker with his feet, but I was never impressed with his arm. Not that he really was winning or losing games for them with his arm anyway at Wake Forest. However, he was pretty solid, man. He 12 touchdowns, 8 interceptions is not the best, but I mean, if you can protect the ball, if you can 2.5 times your ratio, I mean, you're playing decent ball. I mean, you're not going out there and losing your team any games. And like you said, I think their defense definitely stepped up, and that's what allowed them to take another step forward. But I'm not gonna lie, I thought the change in coach would cause some volatility that just wouldn't result in them winning too many games. But it's interesting to see. I don't know how they lost to Florida State, how they lost, though, when I look at their record and I look at the other teams
I don't
that
remember
they
watching that
played.
game.
It's like how do you lose 42-7 to Florida State? Is this something ain't right, man? Point shaving.
Hey, I ain't gonna put that smut on them, but I don't remember that game. Oh, that's right. The Georgia Tech game was the game that Georgia Tech came back down like 17 or 16 to win.
Yeah, they barely lost
They
that
blew
one.
that. Yeah, they blew that game. Wake Forest blew that game.
Yeah,
I do remember that one now, but I don't remember watching.
And then they beat Virginia. So it's just like, bro, how do you? I don't know, man.
I will say this: the Virginia win, Chandler Morris got hurt in that game. He didn't come back.
Okay,
I do remember that one.
Understood. That's excused then.
I remember that game, but also got to shout out to Sean Purdy. He did a solid job when Ashford was hurt. So Deshaun Purdy is a transfer from Charlotte. That's the way for us. But he did a pretty solid job.
Yeah, man. 12 touchdown, 8 picks ain't the greatest.
Yeah, it's not, and that's the whole kill. Like Robbie Ashford didn't have like this super crazy season. Like, to be honest, we're still not wrong about Robbie Ashford in the
No,
slightest.
yeah,
It's just he
he
just
not
did a little better
he
than
not
we
playing on
thought.
Sundays.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. They both. Well, Wake Forest did pretty good this year in basketball. They made the NIT. I
Yeah,
think they're
I
kind of
definitely think
even.
of Wake Forest more of a basketball team for
Yeah,
sure.
it is, but
Even
it's
when I
not
think
by.
back on players, it's like I can think of Jeff Teague, I can think of Chris Paul, I can think of Tim Duncan, like you know
Yeah,
what I'm
Al-Farouq Aminu. Yeah,
saying? James Johnson, I think.
Giants Johnson. Yeah,
It's like
yeah. Nah, I definitely feel that. But again, still a great season. And I went back and
yeah.
looked.
Shout out to
They
him.
did. This is their best season since 2021. When they made the ACC championship, they were an 11-win team that year. They won 11 games that year under Sam Hartman. The year after they won, I think
Sam
7, and
Hartman, bro.
yeah, they were losing records until this year where they won 8. So shout out to Jake Dicker and Wake Forest. But that is the end of the ACC review. We have reviewed all 17 teams of our preseason predictions and how they done. Ace, any final words?
Nah, man. You guys should stay tuned for all the other things that we got coming. Well, Carl got coming, and I will be able to chime in whenever I get the chance. You know, I appreciate being he welcomes me on, and always have fun.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna say this. I appreciate you and Dave for giving me your time as always. These episodes are very lengthy, and I know they take a lot of time out your day. So I always appreciate y'all giving me y'all time. Shout out to y'all again for making the national championship game. I don't have a fight in the race. Well, let me not lie to you, because I do be rooting for Georgia Tech a ton. But I would not be mad to see y'all in the ACC championship game, man. So I do kind of want to see that. No spoiler about my preview this upcoming season. Again, thank you to Anthony Manzano. 3551. I tried to do it off the top of my head and messed that up. For subscribing to the channel. Definitely appreciate that. With that being said, I will be back next week. I still got to talk to Trent about a date, because Trent was with me on a Big Ten preview this year. So I'm trying to get him to come on for the Big Ten review, but we haven't got a solidified date for the episode. But it should be this week. If he can't do this week, I'm going to just skip the Big Ten and come back to it whenever he's available and go to the Big 12. I did the Big 12 SEC and the Group of 5 by myself, so I can do those on my own time. Ace, I also want to tell you, we got somebody new that might be joining the show, man. My boy Griffey.
Oh, yeah.
He asked me, he was like, when I brought up Robert Henry with UTSA, he was like, I watched him. I watched the Group of 5. Like, he was like, yeah, he a USC fan. Yeah,
we have a brother.
Fan. So,
yeah, man, get him on here, man. We love to have him. We love to have him. More than Mary, honestly.
Yes, I got somebody else coming on that watches college football like we do. So excited for that. Y'all stay tuned. Oh, before I leave, first of all, like, comment, share, subscribe. Definitely appreciate that. It helps the channel, it helps the network. Speaking of the network, we have shows. Like I said, this is a network. We have the main show, who went live earlier at 12. They normally go live Monday and Thursday, 7 to 8:30. I don't think they're going live tomorrow because they went live today, but just be on the lookout for them. We have Unfazed, who went live Thursday, featuring Joe and AJ. They go live normally during a weekday. Now, what day is kind of changes, and they normally go live around 9:30. So make sure you subscribe to check them out. We have BWT, Baseball with Teddy. My Tigers lost the season, the Battle of the Border, series, the Battle of the Border to the Blue Jays, 2-1. We lost today. We had Jack Flaherty on the mound. Jack Flaherty, man, he sucks. But make sure for all your baseball needs, you tune in to Teddy. We have FCC, used to be Fantasy Football with Coach, now Football with Coach Coombs, because he wants to talk football throughout the entirety of the year. So he's still going to talk fantasy football, just fantasy football when obviously in season. So it's right now, he's talking about the offseason and stuff like that. We have RBO, Real Ballers Only, featuring Vaughn, NBA show, where he's talking about the playoffs as we speak. We have Dave's Doghouse, highlights and lowlights of sports. We have In the Red Corner, featuring Ty Ricky and Tomo, boxing episode. They're not talking about that terrible UFC main event last night. They are strictly boxing. They go live on Sundays, not every Sunday, but when they do go live, it is on Sundays around 6:30. So make sure for all your boxing needs, you check out In the Red Corner. We have Zero Sports Talk with Griffey, where he's talking about a lot of sports, soccer, baseball, basketball, football. He even talked about wrestling. So he's the only one, though, that doesn't go live. So his episodes drop So just subscribe to tune in for that. And the last show we have is AJ's Birds, part of the Timeout for Timeout, his channel, where he talks about his Eagles. So if you're an Eagles fan, subscribe to him. And that's all these shows that we have on the network. And that's all we got for y'all today. I will see y'all next week reviewing either the Big 10 or the Big 12. But I'm gone. I hope y'all enjoyed the episode. Peace.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.